And that's why he had fired at the dog to stop the aggression.
Eventually, the district attorney will consider all of the evidence, including whether the bullet from the rocking horse matches the neighbor's gun. For Reddick, there's only one acceptable outcome.
I told him I would like fresh starters. Because, I mean, I could have been my kid. I mean, he was, you know, this far from pulling the dog.
I try to help people out as much as I can.
Staff with the Coastal Bend Food Bank shared they did a morning drop-off at a nearby church. However, there were many people at the park waiting.
And they said, well, I guess there's nobody coming, so we
didn't name that neighbor
we've been here for about 2 hours coming and going, seeing what was going on.
And to make sure these residents and their families were fed as well, too, another truck filled with about 10 pallets of food were distributed.
Trying to figure out what happened to an elderly man they found dead. Mathis PD says the body of the man, believed to be in his 80s, was found behind a building on North B Street.
It's a double blessing for Kingsville. Now we're able to actually distribute 2 loads instead of 1.
Jeremiah Marshall, Christi.
Folks over at the Texas State Aquarium got
and to see how you can make donations to the food bank and help out those efforts, you can go to our website, christv.com.
In other news, there's a parade celebrating diversity going on today. 1 Mile Pride Parade route runs along Shoreline and ends at Water's Edge Park, where a block party will take place to continue the celebration. We now go live to Sunrise reporter Kristen Gallister at Water's Edge Park with all the details. Good morning, Kristen.
Anniversary since the Battle of Midway and D-Day.
Good morning, Ali. Yeah, we're celebrating inclusivity, equality, and human rights here in Corpus Christi today. And I'm here with Tom, who's going to give us a little insight on the LGBTQ plus community's progress and why we're putting on this parade. Now, Tom, this wasn't even going on 5 years ago. How have you seen this pride grow in the Coastal Bend in the last 5 years?
Corpus Christi was started following the Orlando Pulse shooting.
This video shows a young man on his knees in the parking lot of the Bill Miller Barbecue on Ayers Street, digging up weeds using only a screwdriver.
And since then, we've grown. This is now our 4th pride event, our 3rd parade, and our 2nd block
Frank
party.
Rongel was leaving the restaurant when he took the cell phone video of the employee. He says what concerned him the most was the lack of safety.
Now, what's the parade lineup looking like today?
We have 50 plus entries.
You can also see where the young man isn't wearing gloves. Rongel says sanitary measures should have been taken before management sent any employees to work outside.
It's going to be 1 mile long from Interstate 37 in Shoreline south down to Water's Edge Park. We're at the block party.
And who is sponsoring this event?
We have probably 30 plus sponsors, local businesses, communities, community organizations, and individuals.
They declined to go on camera, but did say that pulling weeds is common practice for their employees. They said they don't hire a contractor for that job, so their employees take care of it. They did verify that they don't set out cones when an employee is working outside. And as far as wearing gloves,
and do I have to be a part of the community to come out and support?
Whether he or she chooses to wear them.
That's the beauty of this organization and this event, is that it's welcoming to everyone in the community.
Police is suing the 2 CCPD officers and the city of Corpus.
The biggest takeaway is that we're so thrilled to be able to do this. We have grown, we have progressed so much in our LGBT rights that we're able to be out and proud and have affirmation and respect.
The suit asked for just
over
$12 million.
We are demonstrating by this what an important contributor we are, both economically, socially, to the quality of life in the Coastal Bend, the LGBT community. We are your neighbors, we are your colleagues, we are your associates. Whether you know it or not, we're here, and we are an important part of this community, and we want to celebrate that today.
Well, I think that's a beautiful thing, and thank you for speaking with me this morning. Now, if you are coming out to the event today, it kicks off at 3, the parade will start, and it will end at Water's Edge Park, where there will be a block
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Doppler 10 weather forecast.
Today was one of those days where we had showers come through, but by the time you noticed it was raining, it might have already been sunny. It has been very brief, but on and off through much of the morning hours. And those will continue here in the tomorrow. But as the thicker moisture comes in, that looks like it is going to bring with it the potential for some heavier downpours, especially by tomorrow morning. But right now, we do have a little bit of rain out there, certainly very light as it's pulling to the north and west. And you can see off the coast right here, there are some clouds, and those are pulling to the north and west. So as we track these as they head in our direction, those would be in Flower Bluff close to 5 o'clock, and then into Corpus Christi about 5:26, and Ingleside at 5:30. So a little bit of rain coming down, but there's nothing bad with any of this.
Skies and winds are mostly light out of the east at 3 miles per hour. A little bit cooler in some of our inland areas.
But that's not going to be all. We still have plenty more to the south as that upper wave comes in. We'll have on and off rain tomorrow. Temperatures right now, though, with the clouds and some of that rain have cooled down. We're at 85 at Robstown, 83 at Ingleside right now, 82 at Port Aransas. Those temperatures, though, aren't going to cool much tonight. We only dropped to 78 or so. It's going to stay near 80 at the beaches tonight. So still pretty warm out there. And as we get toward the morning, we'll see those showers and even isolated storm or two in the area. Tomorrow, with the rain, we're also seeing more heat, although the temperatures will top out closer to 90 tomorrow. The heat index, though, still topping at about 103, 104 in the afternoon with winds under 15 miles an hour. And temperatures tomorrow from the mid-80s at the beaches to the lower 90s in our inland areas. This we're going to enjoy. Tomorrow's the last day we're going to see this because
we are seeing a little bit of that
cloud, clouds
and fog
this week starting
out
Thursday.
There.
Here's future track then as we go through tonight. Again, you can see those showers increasing in the late night hours. This is 3 in the morning. Showers and a couple of thunderstorms possible. Some beginning to produce some heavy downpours tomorrow early in the day. Watch for that as you head to come in, and that's going to give us a chance of showers. Pockets on the roadways, which is fine into the middle roadways. Heading into 8:30 in the morning still, light showers turning into heavier showers in places, especially from Rockport northward, is where the heaviest rain looks like it's going to set up with this. Nevertheless, we'll continue with on and off rain through tomorrow evening as it tapers off tomorrow evening. It's mainly dry until Thursday afternoon. Monday, that's when we pick up a couple of storms, but Thursday afternoon looks like a better chance in our inland locations as the front comes in. So farther inland you live on Thursday, you might get a few storms, and we're going to have to keep an eye on those because with all the heat, if 1 or 2 storms can get going, they could be strong or severe for Thursday. All right, potential future rain through Thursday. Most of this is going to come Wednesday. Tonight through Wednesday, we still have the potential of seeing 1.5 to 3 inches from Rockport northward, a half an inch to an inch from Kingsville up to about Corpus Christi. As we know, tropical rains can produce a lot all at once, so that's why we saw those rains as well. And this is the severe storm potential for Thursday, right on the edge of that. Now, take a look at this. These are temperatures.
Today, though, sunny,
this is Thursday before
99 degrees.
These are not heat indices. These are temperatures. 101 at Alice, 94 Corpus Christi, 98. Now look at Friday. It stays all the way from Friday and into Saturday. We have that extreme heat with inland areas reaching over 100 and coastal areas 90 with the very warm weather through tomorrow. Then that front comes in so Monday afternoon. For the end of the weekend, the weekend. Here's your 7-day forecast then. Once the rain chances end Thursday, we're dry. Friday and into the weekend, temperatures reaching into the upper 90s. And as I showed you,
dry again as we get closer to next weekend. Well, it's birthday time, and if you know someone who has a birthday coming up, be sure to let us know about it. Go to KRISBE.com where you'll find information on how to send us a picture. Here are today's birthdays. Join me in wishing them a big happy birthday.
It's currently accepting items like shampoo and body wash, diapers, blankets, conditioner, and wipes, just to name a few. Their supplies are running very low.
We have had just a surge of people in our shelter, and we can house up to 65.
And tonight we're giving a thumbs up to Master Sergeant Benjamin Jenkins. He recently retired last week from the U.S. Air Force after 22 years. He was most recently stationed at NAS Corpus Christi. And a big thumbs up to Master Sergeant Jenkins. We wish him the best in his retirement. Enjoy and stay cool because it's going to be hot.
Stay right there. We're coming. We start tonight with 3 scam warnings. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Byers. Sonia Hill has the evening off. Now, these warnings, all in the past week, should have you questioning who is really on the other end of that phone line. Scammers try to get you to
Thanks for staying with us. More baseball at Waterbury Field tonight. Enjoy it while you can, because the Hooks are about to start a long road trip Tuesday. For now, they're trying to take care of business and game 2 against the Amarillo Sod Poodles. Absolutely beautiful night over at Waterbury.
You see a common trend there. People you trust, right? And scammers take advantage of that level of trust that you have there. That's why local police urge you to ask lots of questions and also reach out to them.
Eduardo Olivares strikeout swing in on the slider on the other side. Ronald Bolanos making his double-A debut makes Abraham Toro look silly. Fast forward now, second inning.
Through a process called caller ID spoofing,
he is on
a scammer made it look like he was calling from Ingleside Police last week.
The number between now and the caller ID will be 361.
Hooks take a 1-0 lead. But the Sod Poodles offense would find its rhythm in the top of the third inning. Ivan Castillo, runners on first and third, is going to deliver a shot over Brandon Getzman's head.
While she was at Ingleside PD, the scammer called again, but when a real officer got on the phone, he quickly hung up. The scammer didn't win this time, and police want to keep it that way. That's why the departments in Ingleside and Corpus Christi post online warnings about phone scams.
It's important that these folks, the citizens, are just vigilant.
The same goes for parishioners at Holy Family Catholic Church in Corpus Christi. Recently, a scammer posed as the church's leader, Father Daryl D'Souza, sending church members emails and text messages asking for iTunes, gift cards, and other donations. It's unclear whether anyone fell for it, but you can see how they could when you think you're dealing with an authority figure.
And today, the charges against the woman who confessed to driving the getaway car were dismissed. This comes just 2 weeks after a third mistrial was declared for the accused gunman.
The Catholic Diocese of Corpus Christi
has more on
about
the latest twist to this murder case.
They turned out an
the Nueces County District Attorney's Office confirmed to us that the charges against Trevino were dropped, but did not tell us exactly why that happened. In the end, it means for now that no one has been brought to justice for this tragic crime. Today was supposed to be the day Christina Trevino found out her punishment for her role in the shooting death of Alex Torres. Initially, she was charged with capital murder, but pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of retaliation. That was part of the deal with prosecutors who were trying to convict David Davila, the alleged shooter, of capital murder, but their efforts were unsuccessful. The first mistrial declared in October of last year after the jury could not agree on a verdict. Davila's second trial came just a few months later, but after Trevino, a witness for the prosecution, reportedly gave testimony that was not admissible, another mistrial was declared. The next day, Alex Torres' grandparents spoke to us about how they were still committed to seeking justice and some type of closure.
Or register as a vendor and pay vendor and permit fees. He says the issues began because he occasionally takes donations from families if they offer them.
The rights are free.
But late last month, Davila's third trial ended in yet another mistrial, and prosecutors announced they would not try him again. Now with the charges dropped against Trevino, it's unclear what the next step will be to find and convict whoever is responsible for Alex's death.
The last time we spoke to the city, they told us
we did attempt to speak to Alex Torres' grandparents, Yolanda Quiros and Donaldo Gutierrez. They have been very gracious to us in the past, but we're not available today.
Well, Christina Trevino has already been released from the Nueces County Jail tonight. Davila released a couple of weeks ago, shortly after his third mistrial.
Which Knowles says he's happy about.
The most accurate weather forecast in South Texas with meteorologist Juan Acuna.
Hi everyone, welcome back and a good Friday evening to you. Our Chief Meteorologist Del Nelson will be returning next week, and we're starting off right now looking at our one shoreline camera, looking over at Whataburger Field and looking for some fireworks off and about in the area, but still a beautiful shot of Whataburger Field just off the Harbor Bridge right there. It is a tranquil night across the coastal bend after receiving yet another record high today, 102 degrees officially out at the airport, and this is the third record high in a row, and this completely shattered the previous record of 97 set back in 2001 and 1977. And if you were like me thinking, when was the last time we got to 102 degrees? Well, I called the National Weather Service, and they told me that it was July 23rd of 2018, so almost a year ago, and we got to 102 degrees that day as well. So, of course, as we go on into the weekend, we're still going to be looking at dangerous temperatures for us here. I wouldn't doubt if we get more heat advisories and even the possibility of excessive heat warning. So definitely take precautions, slow down, dress for summer, and drink plenty of water. And don't forget your outdoor pets as well. Make sure they have some cool water and some shade too. Looping radar, of course, has been quiet tonight. There was a lonely little thunder shower out in the Rio Grande Valley earlier this afternoon, but that has since dissipated at this point. And outdoors right now, as we look at our CCR V6 weather bug and down into I-37 and Suntide, it's still 83 out there with the heat index of 95 and the humidity at 91% with the southerly wind at 6 miles an hour. So if you have any overnight plans for tonight, we'll be looking at mainly clear skies and the temperatures by 3 to 4 o'clock, only into the lower 80s on our way to the middle 70s. 82 out in Rockport, 81 in Port Aransas, and 75 from Beeville, George West, Three Rivers, down into Mathis and Lake Corpus Christi towards Alice as well. There are some of those high clouds that are moving in. Again, that's from those leftover one little thunder showers that was often to just north of Raymondville. But this frontal boundary up to the north has gone stationary. It's going to be waiting for some high pressure to push it through, and it's going to be coming from this particular storm system off of the Pacific Northwest. And it is a cold front, and it is going to make it all the way to South Texas, but by the time it makes its way here, it is going to be extremely, extremely weak, and all it's going to do is basically give us a north-northeasterly wind and slightly drier air. Don't think about anything about cooler temperatures. It'll take temperatures down maybe about 3 or 4 degrees, but still it's going to be above normal, and it's still going to be hot. But as far as humidity is concerned, it won't feel quite as humid outdoors. Into the upper levels of the atmosphere,
we have no
this is
record
what's
of
going to be
being
dominating our
contacted, and we have
forecast
no
as we
record
go
of ever
into the
issuing a
weekend. And
permit for
anytime
that
we have
well.
upper level high pressure in place, we have subsidence going on, sinking air. That puts compressional heating on the surface. And that's why hot temperatures, especially for this time of year, are going to be expected and are in the forecast. Yeah, we're at 83 here, but notice behind that frontal boundary, they're into the 50s. We're not going to be headed there, unfortunately. 50s are done with, at least until November, maybe even December by that time. But upper levels, here we go. There comes that high pressure dome. This is Saturday afternoon, sitting right on top of us, mainly over West Texas. It comes a little bit closer as we go into Sunday, but again, right when we are underneath this, and especially into the afternoon with the peak heating of the day, it is really going to be a scorch out there. And again, use caution and drink plenty of water, especially if you're going to be outdoors for prolonged periods of time. 78 in the morning, warm and humid, heating up already by noontime. East southeasterly winds at 9 miles an hour, 99 by 5 o'clock, with heat indices around 109 to 117. Inland areas and most inland areas of the coastal bend will be about 100 to 105. If you are going to be heading out to the Padre and Mustang Island, enjoy the beach. Don't forget the sunscreen. The wind southeasterly 7 to 14, the bay smooth, and the rip current risk is going to be low, but not gone, so still use caution. NEC Co-op Energy 7-day forecast, 99 tomorrow, 100 on Sunday against Shrimpery.
In this case,
out in Aransas.
it sounds like
this weekend. Then there comes that front Monday, and that'll give us a few isolated showers, some more clouds as well, but notice those temperatures. We should be at 90 for this time of year, into the low to middle 90s, so still hot.
Recently installed.
Not quite as soon, but use caution for the
Coastal Properties paid a $540 fine in municipal court.
In the meantime, these record-breaking temperatures come just as the city is opening up its cooling centers all around town.
All senior centers and all libraries are open to everybody, and they're available during normal business hours. Yesterday, the county opened cooling centers at area community centers and libraries as well. Today, we actually found folks in Agua Dulce, a few Agua Dulce residents who are taking advantage of the AC at the county's David Berlanga Community Center.
And Reliant Energy also teaming up with the city to help folks stay cool. It announced the opening of its annual Beat the Heat centers today, and this is the 10th year now that the county has sponsored them. Reliant also provides utility bill assistance through this program. The Beat the Heat centers are again located at the Greenwood, Lindale, and O'Neill Williams Senior Centers.
They need to do a physical inspection.
Really important for the seniors to be able to stay cool so that they're not experiencing heat-related illnesses or effects of the heat. So we really want to make sure our seniors have a safe place to come and a place to cool off every day that the centers are open.
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Doppler 10 weather forecast.
All you have to do is go to our website.
Well, good afternoon. I hope your Monday went well. Turned out to be another very hot and sticky day. We even had a couple of small showers
damage in the area, namely to the football field over
right now, it's just hot out there. We have a lot of sunshine, too. It's 92 degrees right now in Corpus Christi. Alice up to 97.
It's just happy no one was hurt.
Area as the heat index, what it feels like is at 101 degrees at Ingleside Naval Air Station, at 105 as well as Alice. So that heat index, just over 100 today. We'll be pretty close there again tomorrow. Winds, though, weren't too strong today. In fact, you can see the wind speeds here under 20 miles an hour across the entire area.
Welcome back, everyone. The Hook's got a much-needed win to start their series against the Amarillo Sod last night.
So tonight's lows dropped into the upper, mid to upper 70s across the area to 80 right at the beaches tonight. There is a chance we'll have a shower or a thunderstorm tonight. It would be very spotty, but later tonight through tomorrow morning, we do have that chance. We'll see a few of those. Here is the outline for tomorrow. We're looking at in the morning some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. You may have a few of those to deal with on your way to work in the morning. And then in the afternoon, they're very spotty and mainly only in our inland areas, but toward the evening and tomorrow night, those are going to increase and become numerous. By Wednesday morning, some of those with heavy rain. So tomorrow they'll be very hit and miss, but they'll be out there, and temperatures are going to heat up again. In fact, by noon we're at 89 degrees. Those winds staying under 20 miles an hour, and a day similar to today as we reach into those low 90s tomorrow. But again, we do have that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm as temperatures climb tomorrow, anywhere from 90 at the Naval Air Station, 89 Ingleside and Rockport, Kingsville up to 95, and Corpus Christi 92 degrees. I have a few things to mention about the beach forecast. First of all, it is going to be a very warm day at the beaches tomorrow. The water's up to 86, but I wanted you to notice we have a high rip current risk the next couple of days. The onshore flow is increasing, and there could be some coastal flooding. You'll have to watch for that during high tides tomorrow morning south of Port Aransas. So watching also for the potential of a shower or a thunderstorm, especially Wednesday at the beaches as well, some with heavy rainfall. Today we did have a couple of little showers move through. You can see on the last 6 hours here, very hit and miss showers did move through the area, and now that's going to be the case again late tonight and tomorrow morning as this tropical wave lifts northward. This moisture is going to move in. You can see it on future track here. Let me take it hour by hour. This is starting tomorrow morning. Here come those showers I talked about. But later tomorrow and into Wednesday, you can see how they increase through Wednesday morning. Some of these, again, they're very tropical in nature. They'll have heavy rain with them and persist on and off into Thursday morning.
City Traffic Control says sometimes they have to come out here on site and manage these cameras. But in doing so, they'll come to these metal crates here,
as far as rainfall amounts from this, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches.
Usually it's due to a shortage, but they do say sometimes ants will crawl in here and mess with the wiring.
1 to 2 inches of rain is possible. That's in the next 3 days. Higher amounts up the coastline. And then once that moves out, as I mentioned, by Thursday afternoon, we start drying out. But look at this. We're talking dangerous heat and humidity. This is the heat index forecast as it climbs later this week. We'll have to watch for that after Thursday. Here is our 7-day forecast then, and you can see we've got that rain on and off.
The city also says not all roads are managed by these cameras. For example, on major highways and frontage roads,
down a little
those
for
cameras
Wednesday.
are monitored by
It doesn't last long. Here comes the heat. Here comes the humidity all the way through the weekend, as we'll have plenty of sunshine for later this week.
Lots of folks in Kingsville
and take a look at this. Police say the woman driving this car may have been speeding when she crashed into the Pizza Hut near Staples and Baldwin. This happened around 1 o'clock this morning. Police say the woman tried to make a turn and lost control.
And tree branches.
The car went through a barrier and smashed right into
now with the very latest, Allie.
Thank you. The man who caused several crashes on the Harbor
Well, Katya,
Bridge
this morning, Kingsville residents they began what could be a pretty lengthy recovery process. In fact, the city's mayor just recently signed a disaster declaration, and some of the residents that I got to speak with today told me that they could never see something like this coming.
It was pretty bad. Didn't see it coming, but all of a sudden it was pouring, and that wind was blowing real hard.
Charged with driving while intoxicated.
Here we are.
Around 7:30 last night, the town of Kingsville was struck by severe winds, leaving residents to find their property and belongings heavily damaged.
We have seen several buildings without any roofs. And of course, in my personal situation, I had in front of my house a tree fell on a car, on my son's car.
Due to these outages, some intersections are without traffic lights, which has already led to delays and some minor accidents. Also seeing a need for major cleanup is Javelina Stadium.
But once you see a structure laying on the side like that, it's a little bit, shocks you for a minute, then you start into the assessment stage and say, okay, what are we going to do? One, to get that cleaned up.
Despite the hot conditions and the long road ahead of them, residents are staying determined and keeping their spirits high.
Yeah. With a name like Mitch Driver, where else would you start your bachelor party? Should be better with that name, absolutely. Whether his game is good or not, he's enjoying his time on a course that's been around for a decade.
While we've been out here in Kingsville today, I've been approached and seen many families still driving around in their cars, determined to stay cool since their power is still out back at home. Back to you, Katya.
All right, Allie, thanks for that. This time, Claiborne County has opened community centers for the elderly.
It didn't get that way overnight.
Golf course took some significant damage from the storm.
So much damage, the club abandoned the front 9 holes, restoring instead the tee boxes, fairways, and greens of the back 9.
9,600 AEP customers lost power around 7 o'clock last night. That includes the hospital there, the Naval Air Station, and the water treatment plant.
Most people that come down Port Aransas are tourists and
and they just don't have 5 hours to play golf.
You now can cart around at this course in 90 minutes.
Of course, in this
time will tell if it's a stroke of genius. But just well, those record-breaking temperatures has the city of Corpus Christi been really proud of our team out here.
We need them, right? Because all senior centers and libraries, they are open to the public and available during normal business hours. It's so hot outside. So for folks that want to, there you go, that fan, you got a fan because it's hot. County open the cooling centers at area community centers and libraries as well. Today, we found a few Agua Dulce residents taking advantage of the AC at the county's David
runs from 10 tomorrow morning until 3 in the afternoon. Now, what in the world is this thing? Something else that's drawing people out to Columbia right now are
experiencing heat-related illnesses or effects of the heat. So we really want to make sure our seniors have a safe place to come and a place to cool off every day that the centers are open.
Pretty cool. Back to you, Drew.
Water is so
that looks like a lot of fun.
Staying cool, it's staying hydrated, and we want to make
sure. And for a full list of the city and county cooling centers and tips on how to handle the heat, visit our website at christi.com.
Welcome back, everyone. And now to the latest on the barge and sunken tugboat that we first told you about last week.
It seems like some of the work is being done to move those vessels, and it's underway now. Workers with David Croft, and they're responsible for leaving the barge and tugboat behind. We're out today getting the vessels ready for transport. Currently, 3 vessels remain docked at the shore behind the home on Ocean Drive. The original sunken tugboat that transported the barge, and then a second tugboat that was sent to retrieve the 2.
County deputies believe the man was from Honduras and was the victim of human smuggling or human trafficking. Investigators believe that the victim died during transport and was left by those traveling with him. His cause of death is still unknown. Investigators are also working with the Honduran consulate to locate and notify the family of the victim. A man hit by a car
2 weeks after opening for the summer, the Greenwood City Pool is temporarily shut down today because of vandalism. Workers say that they found broken glass in the pool this morning during a routine pool inspection. Staff at the Corpus Christi Parks and Rec are currently cleaning up the mess, making sure the pool is safe for swimmers. No timeline has been given on when the pool will
was sentenced to 25 years in exchange for pleading guilty to indecency with the child, aggravated sexual assault, indecency by exposure, and indecency by contact. He was arrested.
But have no fear, for now swimmers can use other pools for public pools in the area. The nearest pool to Greenwood is the HEB pool off Shelley Street near the HEB Tennis Center. And its staffers will make an announcement once the pool is safe to reopen.
6 Weather is brought to you by Wilcox Furniture. Great furniture delivered fast and guaranteed low prices. Now, the most accurate forecast in South Texas with meteorologist Juan Acuna.
Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the Wilcox Furniture forecast and a very good Friday
meteorologist Sharon Ray
It's been pretty quiet across the coastal bend today, especially compared to yesterday. But the looping radar is not completely clear. We do have one thunder shower just out of our viewing area down near the Rio Grande Valley, and there is a severe thunderstorm warning for it just to the southwestern half of Kennedy County. That includes Willacy County, Hidalgo County, and pushing off near the Raymondville area. That goes until 6 o'clock, so if you are going to be traveling down there, you may want to check the radar.
Also in the Western Caribbean,
it has a little bit of hail associated with
typically
it
in June
well.
Developing and moving
back here at home,
into Yucatan,
it was all about the heat today, and it's going to be all about the heat tomorrow on Sunday, and we'll get a little bit of relief as we go into early next week. But heat advisories in effect for the entire coastal bend, minus our northern counties, but
start the season
don't fool
usually
yourself
very
because it's still hot up there as well. We're at 101 degrees right now. I'm not sure when the last time we reached 101 degrees. I'm going to have to go and research that, but nonetheless, it's hot. 105 up in Orange Grove, Acurias, Hebbronville, you're included. Our water temperature out at the Packard Channel has warmed back up to 87, and it still feels like 113 here. 120 out at Naval Air Station, Flower Bluff, 115 in Alice near San Diego, up around the Alfred region as well, 110 around Falfurrias and Fremont as well. Evening forecast for tonight will maintain mainly clear skies,
so this is one we'll watch
still going
right
to be
now
fairly
in the next
warm by
48
the 10 o'clock time frame into the middle 80s as we struggle to get into the middle to upper 70s.
What is the
early in the
hurricane
morning?
season forecast?
Upper 70s to lower 80s near the coastline and about 75 to 76 for almost the rest of the coastal bend. Again, right now we have mainly clear skies. Again, minus that one lone little thunder shower up in the Rio Grande Valley as high pressure is taking over the region. We got a little frontal boundary. This is going to be meandering back and forth over the next couple of days, and it's going to wait for high pressure up to the north to reinforce that, and that's what we're going to be looking for here.
Temperatures are no different today. Right now, we are still at 90 at Ingleside and 92 at Kingsville, Corpus Christi 91. The
temperature. And of course, for this time of year, of course, it is going to be. It's not going to do much to cool us off. Right through the weekend. Plus, we had a lot of sunshine today, and we'll still see plenty of sun this weekend as well. The winds have come down, and those are going to stay under 20 miles an hour as we go through the weekend. Of course, every time we have high pressure sitting on top of us, that means we have sinking air. We have subsidence going on in the atmosphere, so that puts pressure for us here on the surface. And that's why we get those hot temperatures to roll with it. And you can see us here, 101, again, one of the hotter temperatures across the entire United States, but it's warm all the way up into the northern plains, right behind that one frontal boundary. That won't cool us down a whole lot. They're getting a little bit of some cooler air up in the Pacific Northwest, where temperatures are currently into the 50s. But let's look at it as far as the surface temperatures are concerned. This is tomorrow afternoon. Look at all those bright pink colors once again.
However, a couple of hazards you want to watch, of course, is the heat.
Pressure will come a little bit farther into our area on Sunday, so I think we'll achieve triple digits once again. And each day we're going to be challenging the record highs. And watch what happens as we go into Monday. The storm system off to the southeast is going to dig just a little bit. There's a reinforcing one that's going to come right behind it, so it's going to push the main energy of that hot air back off to the west just a little bit. It's still going to be hot here, no doubt about it, but it's not going to feel quite as hot because of the dry air coming in. Here comes that reinforcing air pressure as we go on into early next week. But for tomorrow, 93 already heating up at noon. 99 by 5 o'clock. Heat indices around 109
as we look at temperatures all the way into next week. It doesn't change a lot, but they do go up a little.
106
by Sunday and Monday,
communities. If you are going to be heading out to Padre and Mustang Island, don't forget that sunscreen. The days will be smooth. The wind current risk is going to be low out there in the seas.
Wednesday and Thursday, I think we could have some showers coming in from the southwest with some tropical moisture. We'll be watching that.
100 on Sunday. Don't forget, Aransas Pass Shrimpery. So over the weekend, heat advisories are going to be likely a couple of isolated showers with that weak frontal boundary that'll come in Monday, Tuesday, and end on Wednesday. Still going to be warm, but again, the key to that is less humidity.
Shrimpery is going to be so much fun.
Ethan would not be a fan or something for the spring. Instead, he was preparing to have heart surgery.
He was nervous. And now to the latest twist in the Alex Torres case.
Yeah, Torres was a 13-year-old who was gunned down at the Treyway Apartments 4 years ago in a case of mistaken identity.
Both his aortic and pulmonary valve, which control blood flow through the heart, weren't working the way they should. So on April 24th, Ethan's family went into Driscoll's Children's Hospital ready to face a major procedure.
And Chris 6 News has just learned that the other person accused in that murder has had the charges dismissed against her. Chris 6 News reporter Nikhil Pradier is following the late-breaking story and is in the newsroom with the very latest details.
Colorado officials within Wilson County Jail have first confirmed to us that charges against Christina Trevino were dismissed today by visiting Judge Rosarena. Now, you may remember that initially Trevino was charged with capital murder in this case. She was the accused getaway driver the night that Torres was shot, according to prosecutors. However, in a plea deal, she did plead guilty to a lesser charge of retaliation last August. Now, Trevino was set to be sentenced this morning, but that hearing was abruptly canceled late yesterday afternoon before today's dismissal. And by the way, we have no word right now on exactly why that happened today. As for Trevino, jail officials now tell us that they are working to process her matter and that she could be released from jail as soon as within the next 2 hours.
Wait for Ethan to make a full recovery before jumping into any more major surgery. In the meantime, Ethan says he's grateful for all the support.
And the 23-year-old Mexican national has been arrested in connection with Tuesday night's deadly car crash near Robstown that killed 6 people. U.S. Marshals in Houston arrested Ivan Puga Moreno of Nuevo León. According to a court document, he was charged to smuggle 18 illegal immigrants to Houston when he was involved in a crash. He was charged with unlawful transportation of aliens resulting in death. Puga Moreno could face the death penalty if he's convicted. At least 9 people were also injured in that crash. And if you want to read the complete court documents, we have them for you on our website at christi.com.
No large bags will be allowed. The Oasis County District Attorney Mark Gonzalez has recused himself from a murder case. Gonzalez filed a motion to recuse himself and the DA's office in the case against Emmanuel Eric Cantu. He's accused of shooting 3 people outside of the CK Mart convenience store on Port Avenue in Baldwin. One of those victims, 36-year-old Sandalio Zuniga, died from his injuries. Cantu is a member of the Calaveras Motorcycle Club, and according to court documents, so is the district attorney.
A 10-year-long effort to provide drinking water to a community near Blexer has finally wrapped up. Oasis County and several agencies work together to bring clean drinking water to Cindy Park and the Ranch Colonias. Those living there had been relying on bottled water as high as concentrations of contaminants were found in their wells.
And here's some more good news. Starting tomorrow,
a new look at a story we did a couple of years ago.
Sunken
Two young
tugboat
women shot and left for dead. We originally called this story Texas Twist.
They have been there since May 10th when the barge was donated to a local charity for a fireworks display that was eventually canceled. There are also some jet skis floating out in the bay as well. The General Land Office plans to remove the gasoline and the batteries from the sunken tugboat. The woman who lives in
You've perhaps heard the saying that you need to keep your eyes on the road. Probably pretty good advice for safe driving.
So I don't
the city, though, is taking it one step further. They're keeping their eyes on the drivers.
I don't even know what the contents of the barge are.
Explains.
The GLO has tracked down the man who left the barge and tugboat. He said he was unable to remove them because of high wind. He told the GLO he will remove it all tomorrow.
I'm in the nerve of the center of the city's traffic management department. Today I'm meeting with city workers to keep a close eye on all this information and find out what they're looking for. Also find out what the payoff is for drivers on the road and taxpayers.
Receiving recovery money from the Homeowner Assistance Program, or HAP, can be time-consuming,
Chris 6 News at noon
sure is paying off for some folks.
Welcome back. I'm here with Cheryl Livingston and David Mura, both with the Aransas County Historical Society. They're pretty excited about a program that's coming up. It is a tribute to singer-songwriter, musician Guy Clark. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
But some people still waiting to find out if they'll receive funding.
Absolutely. He still has family, classmates, friends in Rockport, many fans all across the United States and Europe.
But the news was
and we're excited to host a show featuring Berlin Thompson and Sean Camp.
We'll talk about that in a second, but let me ask you more about Guy Clark, because as I understand it, and you know more about this than anybody I know, he actually grew up in this area, right? Or spent time in this area?
They'd been living for 15 months in a waterlogged house thanks to Hurricane Harvey.
From floor and everything on this side of the house high school graduation.
It would be 6 more months
so those were very formative years for him, and he often spoke about how it shaped him as a musician and just his life experiences.
And he did a lot of songwriting here. In fact, weren't there some albums, or at least one I know that had Rockport on the cover, right?
Yeah, his first 1981 album, South Coast of Texas, has a
it is a long process. The Texas General Land Office wants you to know that you can be like the Nicolinkas as they try to get their antique store up and running again while their home is rebuilt.
In fact, you've got some pictures I want to see if our director can pull up there. And while we're doing that, let's talk about the show, because there's, of the pictures we're looking at here, Guy Clark there in the middle, the 2 guys on the right side of the screen there,
we have specialists that are able to
Berlin Thompson and Sean Camp, both Nashville performing artists, and both wrote songs, produced records, and performed with Guy.
And let me ask you, on the left, I see Guy Clark apparently knew those guys.
He did indeed. In fact, Berlin Thompson played with him for years and years. Sean Camp is younger, but he is a great fan of Guy Clark himself and recorded and produced Guy Clark's album.
Now, I know you had put together a show and it sold out within like 5 days.
8-year-old Dylan Salinas plays with puzzles, his tablet, and
this is the one we're talking about. Tell me about this one.
All right. Yes, we had scheduled one show for August 1st. Started selling tickets in March, sold out in 5 days.
His mother, Michaela Salinas, says he's been in therapy since he was 2 years old, and while he responds well, he excels the most when his therapy involves animals.
Quite fast. It's August the 2nd at 7 p.m. at the La Palma Event Center in Rockport.
Right.
August 2nd.
And those guys are going to sing and reminisce, and it'll be a really fun evening.
It's going to be really special because they're in Guy Clark's hometown with people who knew Guy Clark well, and it's just going to be extra special. They've done this show several times.
And he sits here, but the family has hit a roadblock.
But this is going to be the really special place. And as a result, we're getting ticket requests from all over the country.
Salinas has found generous funding. The organization will pay $43,000 for the family
on our
just has
website,
to come up with the rest.
christi.com. Go there right now. Check it out.
They train multiple
dog.
Thank you for
specific, tailored to the child.
Well, good noontime, everybody. Certainly last night was a busy, interesting evening. Short bursts, thunderstorms, and all kinds of problems. But once it all began to decrease after the sundown, the sun went down, we got some pretty nice clouds out there. And thanks to Jack Neal for sending that in on Twitter. If you've got great pictures from the storm, we'd love to share it with everybody. It's 89 degrees already, and it feels like 104.
But there's still a long way off for meeting their goal.
For the next few days. In fact, this temperature should go up even higher now that we're getting the direct sunlight and fewer and fewer clouds. Winds are fairly light right about now, but all of South Texas, most of Texas will be 80s and 90s, but the desert Southwest, we're looking at very, very hot weather right on through the coming
Action
weekend.
10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your top 10 weather
forecast. You see how all the rain has finally ended over the state of gone. The storm center that produced all that is gone as well. Here's the line of damage that we had with one particular storm. Started out in Beeville, went right through Pettis, all the way down into Aransas County, and then fell apart just before Rockport. And of course, the one that sort of came around, Alice, went down to Kingsville and then went out at Baffin Bay. We did get wind gusts in the 50, 60 mile an hour range during all that wild weather that we had, but it was only
didn't give us much of a
an hour, maybe half an hour to an hour, and it all blew away. So for us now, we are dealing with hot weather. All of us in South Texas are under a heat advisory, and that means that every day in the afternoon, the combination of heat and humidity is going to affect you like it's much higher than that. So we want you to just take it easy and don't overexert. I mean, yes, you can cross the street and go to the grocery store, no problem there. But if you are working with a jackhammer or if you're out there in the field working heavy industry, just know that you got to get fluids, otherwise you'll get dehydrated. This is the high pressure that's building over us now. This is the low pressure that's pulling all that storminess away. We have a front up here, but it's not really going to get a chance to get through this. The entire nation is really dealing with the remnants of that low that pulls away. Now, as it pulls away, this is the high pressure I'm talking about. It's going to develop over our area and all the way over the desert Southwest. Very unusual, very early. It's not even officially summer till July the 20th, June the 21st, but it is certainly going to feel like it with blazing temperatures. We're looking at 97 for 3 days in the city. That'll put all these western areas, the west side of 281, at least 100. So we're looking at 100-degree temperatures and heat index really hovering around 110, 115, and that's the point where we want people to just take it easy, get plenty of fluids, and don't overexert yourself in the middle part of the day. You've got to do it early or late, better chance. That's your 7-day forecast brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. Mike, we'll toss it back to you.
All right, thank you, Mac. We'll check in with him again coming up in just a bit.
Outdoors, maybe doing some cycling.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here. Last night's storms left a trail of destruction across Kingsville. Thousands are without power, and there is damage over much of the city. The 6 News reporter Ali Cassetti joins us now live from Kingsville with the latest. Ali?
For us, this front's staying north of us, but over the next couple of days, it doesn't move much.
Have a massive cleanup job on their hands. I'm here on 15th Street right now, and right behind me, you can take a look at some of the damage that's been done. There's a utility pole snapped in half.
Overall, though, it looks pretty dry here for the next several days.
Utility poles down, trees knocked down, and power outages everywhere. We're expecting an update soon from AEP Texas, but at last report, nearly 7,000 people were without power. The storm that caused this hit around 7 p.m. last night. Residents I've spoke with say it got dark all of a sudden, then they heard a roaring sound. We're getting their first real look at the damage today.
It's pretty quiet and stable here. However, watch right here. This is what we call a disturbance, an upper level area circulation. Watch how that comes up from Mexico and starts to move up the coastline. That would be next Wednesday and Thursday. If this disturbance moves up, it would bring tropical moisture with it and possible rain. So that's what I'm watching for next week. The overall take from this is Monday and Tuesday still look dry. Wednesday and Thursday, if that continues to be showing up on the forecast models, we'll be talking about rain chances Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So with that, we are looking at the weekend to be fairly dry out there, just hot and sticky. Heat index 100 to 105. Here is your 7-day forecast then. You can see those temperatures, they really don't change much, but they do come up. In fact, they slowly rise as we get into Sunday and Monday. The hottest day looks like Monday, possibly 94 degrees, night 78 to 80. We still have a stray shower chance through Sunday. Hurricane season officially begins Saturday. Next week, there's that chance of rain we talked about for Wednesday and Thursday, bringing temperatures down just a little bit.
And on a related note, graduation ceremonies will take place at the American Bank Center this week. The first ceremony will be Miller High School tomorrow at 7 p.m. Flower Bluff, Moody, and Ray High Schools will hold their commencement ceremonies on Friday. And on Saturday, the American Bank Center will host graduation ceremonies for Veterans Memorial, Carroll, and King High Schools. And West Osa will hold its commencement ceremony at the Selena Auditorium at 7 p.m.
Thanks to a new law, that backlog could soon be cleared and bring justice to more victims. Chris 6 News reporter Nikila Pradier.
A man is facing dozens of criminal charges for severe animal abuse.
This isn't the first time state lawmakers have tackled this issue. Just 2 years ago, several rape kit reform bills were passed and signed into law. But local leaders say this measure has a major difference, tens of millions of dollars in funding.
Just this week, Governor Greg Abbott signing House Bill 8.
Most of these dogs were living outside.
And taking Texas's commitment to ending the backlog of rape kits one step further. During the 2017 legislative session, there was a bill that required law enforcement agencies to submit their untested kits to DPS for analysis.
And at that time, we submitted about 724 on top of the same kits. All but about 200 of those kits have been analyzed by DPS.
This most recent measure will require those agencies to do an audit of all remaining untested rape kits and set timelines to make sure they're analyzed. Deputy Chief Breedlove says this could be helpful in tracking down offenders whose victims did not file charges. Previously, those kits were not sent off for testing.
This now allows a lot more data to put into the system, and that way we can identify serial rapists or other unidentified individuals.
The state is also backing up this goal with $50 million in funding. That money will be used to hire more workers for the state's crime labs and ensure underserved populations have access to nurses who are trained to collect evidence for rape kits.
Anything we have in our toolbox that we can use to help bring justice to citizens by a conviction for someone who is victimized someone is a tool that we're going to work.
Matt Manning with the Nueces County District Attorney's Office says when it comes to rape and sexual assault cases, evidence from these kits is some of the most compelling they can present to a jury. So he's grateful for the new law that will allow law enforcement and DPS to analyze that evidence even quicker.
Whatever we can do to hold people accountable, particularly those who are committing violent crimes, we're going to do it 100% of the time.
Nikila Pradier, Chris 6 News.
And this bill will also require evidence to be kept for at least 40 years or until the statute of limitations runs out.
I think it's going to be good that the city's going to be able to use more. Just more people got to know
thanks
about
for we talked about the music. I like the contest that they do. They've got the outhouse
great need
races
to be able to
parade Saturday morning.
They
have the shrimp eating contest. There's the best looking
surrounding areas into Port Aransas.
Yeah, he's like the 10-time reigning champion.
I believe that.
Hey, but you know, in the Journey contest, he's going to perform. He can sing that high.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you got to do. All right, let's talk about the weather.
Pick somebody up here, pick somebody up there.
The good news is the storms are passing away. It's going to be hot and steamy, but as long as you get a nice sea breeze, it'll work out. You know, just get a beverage, get under a tent and enjoy. We are looking at your traffic brought to you by Same Sport,
with one route.
Weather.
That we previously didn't have before.
It's a route the RTA says will help Port Aransas businesses during the busy
we're talking about
season,
the beautiful morning there. It is. We're looking at temperatures around 81 degrees. Calm winds. You can see a few of the clouds sort of drifting through. Then we got another view actually coming out from Beeville, which saw some stormy weather roll through there yesterday afternoon. And here's a
the Port Aransas Express is only set to run until Labor Day weekend. Now that could get extended and the schedule expanded. The RTA says it's just all about how many people actually ride the bus. So far the numbers are okay.
Send it to me.
Reporting live in Corpus Christi, Seth Kovar,
76 right now, calm winds.
This unique couple from Palau has been a host family for dozens of kids from places like Germany, Thailand, and Mongolia. And next week, 2 of their kiddos get to leave and go back home.
And that's why we got all that rough weather now. High temperatures around the state and the region yesterday.
It enriches our communities because we're bringing these kids in from other countries that maybe our kids don't ever go or have never been.
Well, all that stuff is now offshore. It is out there.
Susan Hicks is a host.
Here's the
She hosts foreign exchange students in her home every year.
Right down 181.
Sometimes more than one at a time. To date, she and her husband have hosted 25 students altogether.
Papaloti, I think,
like 16 or 17 years.
Through the nonprofit Face the World, teenagers from across the globe apply to come to America to spend the school year learning about a new culture, practicing the English language, and becoming independent young adults.
Last night. Well, today we replace all of that with a heat advisory for everybody in deep South Texas.
And they take a full
very hot
schedule.
weather. Into the upper 90s, 97 is their high temperature today.
These teens attend a local high school, and they try to do everything to immerse themselves into their new lifestyle.
Personally, I wanted to play a little American football over here, and then playing with Carolina.
A lot of the energy that was there to lift the clouds up into the atmosphere is gone. That was the storm system that was rolling across the southern plains.
To sign up may be considered stringent.
Located, right? Well, that sort of swept through our region. Now it's pulling away, so we're on the upside
Once
of that.
A family is approved,
building high
a young
pressure in
person's dream
behind
to live in America
and giving us some dry northwest wind aloft. What that means is that we're going to get very dry we're very humid down here, but up here it's very dry. That's why we're looking at temperatures pushing 100 in many inland areas. And yes, this is a bona fide heat wave because the high temperature is going to be near records and the low temperatures won't even get below 80 degrees. So that's when it looks like you have a definite heat wave in store. So here's the big bubble of hot air that's going to park itself over our area. Next few days, it's going to be a scorcher.
Hi everyone, I'm Captain Monica Rios from Nueces County Sheriff's Office, and it's Wheel of Shame Wednesday. This is your chance to make some extra cash by getting these bad guys off the streets and behind bars and
about 100.
Let's go ahead and spin the wheel.
And if you're concerned, especially some older people who may not have air conditioning,
Crime Stoppers will increase our rewards to $500 for 1 month.
Walk down to Walmart or come visit us at the mall and
the wheel landed on Maria Perez.
Cool down as best
Maria Perez is one for prostitution. Her date of birth is February 25th, 1983. She's approximately 5'6", 250 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information we can locate Maria Perez or any of the features on our wheel, please call Crime Stoppers at 88-TIPS. For a complete list of all Nueces County's top 10 most wanted fugitives, go to KDTV10.com.
Hi, good morning, guys, and good morning, South Texas.
A man is accused of taking pictures of a child while he was in a women's restroom, and investigators fear there may be other victims.
Joining us early this morning is Miss
It happened back on May 24th at a convenience store located on 3rd Street near Morgan. A 10-year-old girl told her father a man with a gold-colored iPhone had tried to take pictures of her. The father called police. Detectives were able to get surveillance video showing a man walking in and out of the women's bathroom. Investigators say he spent around 12 minutes in the women's restroom and may have recorded others improperly. If you know who this man is, we urge you to call Crime Stoppers at 888-TIPS.
Lots of different things to do. You can either
well,
decide
summer
you
is now upon us, and CCISD is making sure no child goes hungry this summer.
You watch the chefs
the district will be serving breakfast and lunch to all children between the ages of 1 and 18 years old. The meals are
you mentioned there's something
free.
for everyone.
There are about
you know, the
30
carnival for the kids and the big kids like myself enjoy that. But I think the big feature of this festival
and of course, to find a full list of sites, log on our website,
KZTV10.com. Of the guests that are being shown out.
Action Team Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Doppler 10 weather forecast.
Good afternoon. Here we are on this beautiful Wednesday, starting off with this gorgeous sunrise. I never get tired of this shot in Rockport. You can look out there and see that sun coming up. Had quite a few clouds this morning, but we did see those thin out this afternoon to some sunshine, which helped heat it up this afternoon.
And we can't forget about the country music.
Today. All in all, not a bad day here in the coastal bend, as we did see some quiet conditions, except for that wind, of course. Here's what I'm expecting over the next few days, keeping an eye on just an isolated chance of rain. If we do see any showers or thunderstorms, they be isolated in nature and very brief. So it looks mainly dry all the way into the weekend. The heat index, 100 to 105 each day as we're going to top out. That's what it feels like. All the way from temperature and humidity. Fortunately, the wind is changing. That's coming down, but we're still going to have all that humidity. The humidity is not going anywhere. Outside right now, the temperatures are ranging anywhere from about 86 degrees at Port Aransas and Robstown at 86 to 91 at Alice right now. We still have that heat index because the humidity is high, and we're feeling like 102 right now at Alice.
We have an outhouse race right in the middle of town at 9 a.m.
Heat indices in the mid-90s. The wind has been blown pretty good again today. These are sustained
someone sits on the plot and there's 4 people pushing it and they run down the street. And wind
now. Now the wind over the past few days has been very noticeable, but
fun day, am I right?
Right, it's family fun day.
Here's your wind forecast as we head into the weekend, and you can see right here, these are the sustained wind speeds, the direction mainly from the east, southeast, to the east.
Rosemary, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
Be outdoors. Still a nice breeze blowing to help cool us down a little bit from all this heat and humidity. If you're heading to the beach tomorrow, the past few days we've had a high rip current risk. That is coming down just a little tomorrow, but still use caution as we are looking at a moderate risk there. The water temperature warm and the waves are coming down to 3 to 4 feet for tomorrow.
Sunrise reporter Roland Rodriguez is out there this morning, and Roland,
this whole storm system as it's been pounding the Midwest the past couple of days.
Guys,
it's moving to the south, and this is where all the severe weather is. I just got another report of a tornado on the ground east of Dallas. So watching this band as it goes to the north, this is a tornado watch box. Again, we're looking for severe weather, but that's staying well to our north as we just stay in the drier air, but hot and humid as well here. Now, we do have that chance, as I mentioned, of a spot shower or thunderstorm tomorrow, and the better chance is if you live north. That line of storms is going to set up well to the north, but we could see a few down to about Beaver or so. And in the morning tomorrow, we could have a couple of those quick coastal showers. Certainly not much rain, very brief. So that chance is there, but you'll notice on the scale here,
this year we have the Lumberjack Show, so that's a brand new thing for us. We're really excited. It shows during the day. There has the different times on it. They can go to our Facebook or our website and look at the times for the shows. And the culinary stage is back, and you can demo all the chefs cooking that's there. It's free. Sit down and watch the show and then download it out.
Anywhere from
the best part is so much shrimp.
Tomorrow as high temperatures climb, the beaches will be warm in the mid to upper 80s inland.
You can have it that way. Am I right?
Right.
As far as the weekend, not a lot of change.
There was Cajun
the wind still stays down a little bit this weekend, but the humidity is high, and those heat indices look like they are going to stay pretty high as well. Here is the 7-day forecast then, and you can see that there's not a lot of change here, except for a stray shower or thunderstorm through Sunday.
And before we go, let's talk about
nights come down just a little bit into the upper 70s this weekend, and then next week we are looking at low 90s all day, just a little above average.
Sunday we have San Antonio Lights. That's the Journey Tribute Band going on the Whataburger stage, and we have AJ Castillo.
Well, once again, several restaurants earn our perfect score stickers.
I'm trying to think of the other band. There's another band on that stage. I can't remember what it is.
So we got two major stages, and of course tonight we have Josh.
Cowboys. That's what it is.
All right, the Electric Cowboy. And tonight we have Josh
Action 10 Kitchen Cops Report, brought to you by Chubby's Mattress, where there's no limit to what a man and a dog can do.
Lockhart band on the other stage.
That's going to be pretty impressive lineup tonight. And let me just say that it all starts today. The gates open at 6 p.m. and they'll stay open until midnight. So with Josh Abbott being here and some of the other bands, I would suggest you get here before 6 o'clock. This way you can make sure you get a good spot right at the front stage, because trust me, once you're here, it's going to be packed. They're expecting at least 16,000 people or more just to open this event. Guys?
Hi, good evening, everybody. The high school sports season officially over now, but coming up in a few short weeks, high school volleyball practice starts the latter part of the summer. And over at High School, we have a new head coach. She is Lauren Bell, and if that name sounds familiar, well, she has served as the CCISD's only female boys varsity basketball assistant coach for the last 3 years. And now she adds head volleyball coach to her resume. After already spending 5 years with the women's volleyball program, she's excited now to add to her role at the school, and she's also very excited about the future of volleyball here in South Texas.
We're here to offer people.
We have a lot of clubs growing, and the club scene in South Texas has been growing a lot over the last 5 to 10 years. And so these girls are able to get those fundamental skills a lot earlier, second elementary school versus waiting until they get to 7th grade, where now they're just now learning and having to compete, and they have 2 years in middle school, and now we're expecting them to be able to do these skills in the high school level. So having that club and having that foundation and having these clinics available and camps like we're doing today, the last couple of days, gives these girls a really better understanding. So by the time we get them in high school, they have that passing foundation, that serving foundation, that setting foundation down. So now we can start putting those pieces together and gelling as a program more.
All right, I know Lauren will do an exceptional job there at Ray High School.
If you need to report a restaurant, all you have to do is contact the health department.
And we have a developing story in the weather, of course, the heat being one of them, and we had those another record high today, reaching 98 degrees, but we also have a severe thunderstorm watch and a newly issued severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the extreme eastern, northeastern part of Bede County. That goes until 6:30 for this particular storm here. It is losing a little bit of strength, but now past Pettis and making on its way into Goliad County for the city of Goliad. But again, it expires at 6:30. We are getting a little bit some indication, radar indication of quarter-size hail being associated with this particular storm and wind gusts going to 60 miles an hour. So that is what's going on there. We have cloud tops going about 47 to 57,000 feet with this particular storm, so it's got some decent height going along with it. We do have additional showers and storms off to the west of us. These are not severe at this point, but nonetheless they are bringing some decent downpours across portions of the northern Jim Wells County and northern Duval, southern Live Oak as well. We'll take a full look at the radar and the hot forecast. We have a whole lot more coming up in just a bit.
Heat here in the coastal bend has reached dangerous levels now.
And Nueces County officials have responded by opening cooling centers. The centers opened just before noon at Nueces County community centers and libraries. The Red Cross is going to be manning them, and they will open from today and run through Sunday. They're open for anyone who wants to get out of
the driver and another child were airlifted to Corpus Christi hospitals with serious injuries.
And I don't know how we're going to get the word out to them. They're out here and it is hot. I mean, I saw some a while ago when I was coming downtown from the courthouse. So I'm hoping they use the facilities, and then elderly, some of them don't have ACs.
A member of a motorcycle
cooling
club
centers
is charged
at the
with
county's
murder.
5 community centers will be open from 11 in the morning until 8 at night. The cooling center at the Keach Family Library in Robstown and the Bishop Library will operate during regular library hours.
Tonight, I'm Drew Spy.
This is Chris 6 News at 6.
The feedback comes as that group prepares.
Do you know that Texas leads the nation in theft-related crimes to credit card skimmers and bank
That bill that was just signed into law was going to speed up the investigation of those types of thefts, and our Ashley Katia is more on that.
There's some wild ones out there for sure, Drew, including skulls, some wrestlers, and that sort of thing. Those images, though, plus these images, including the Lex, the Harbor Bridge, and Selena, of course, with a part of Corpus Christi's culture and history. And if you talk to the downtown management district, these murals and the other ones out there, well, they're good for Corpus Christi's economy.
The bill signed into law by Governor Abbott last week. It makes it look more red to make people like rental
among people who frequent downtown.
For example, it's going to happen to you
buildings, electrical boxes, and other places.
It currently means a lot of
There's no doubt about it. They had something downtown.
A lot more of it. Tomorrow, he'll get his wish.
Learn the laws
downtown
in all these
management
different
district will
areas, and
announce
then
where
file
new
reports.
murals will be painted.
It's just unreasonable.
And even more expected in the years to come, because the DMD thinks they're part of the reason people are coming downtown.
We see people stopping by to take pictures and selfies with these murals all the time, so we think it's just going to be the new thing for people to do.
Now, some folks think murals alone aren't enough of a draw. That's pushing it. But the DMD says it's part of a bigger plan to make the area more appealing.
Now, there's new law goes into effect on September 1st, and two other related pieces of legislation on the governor's desk now waiting for signature.
Way to describe Corpus.
Well, FEMA says Port Aransas is ready for the return of summer tourism. Many of the businesses and attractions destroyed or damaged by Hurricane Harvey.
When you come into the town, Brendan, we have the beautiful agriculture processing facilities, which are important to our economy, and we realize that. But there's also more to Corpus than just that. And there is a great community of artists, the creative class that are here working to make a difference and improve the quality of life.
Rebuilding, what was that like for you guys?
We'll find out the location of the murals at the May mural mixture that's going on right down the road here at House of Rock at 5:30 tomorrow afternoon. As soon as the downtown management district announces that information, I'll work to get it on our website. That's KZTV10.
For Bears, everything is back to normal.
Reporting live in Corpus Christi, Seth Kovar, Action 10 News.
Summertime, it's a madhouse. And last summer was my first experience with the madhouse. And I'm looking forward to it again.
Our office had 16
62 and
Welcome back, everybody. We are rapidly coming upon the end of May, and with that, the temperatures are starting to reflect it as well. 91 degrees is that current temperature in Corpus Christi right now. It feels like 100 outside. We have a strong southeast wind as well at 23 miles per hour. That's bringing that dew point up to 72 degrees. So it is humid, it is hot, and it feels even hotter because of all that humidity. So let's show you what's going to happen over the next few days. 91, the high temperature for Wednesday. Up to 92 as we head into Thursday and Friday. And look at those feels like temperatures. Feel like 102 tomorrow. Feel like 105 for both Thursday and Friday. So this is not ending anytime soon. And if you live here in South Texas and have for a while, you know it's going to be like this till
a big deal for them to continue to come down after Harvey.
So satellite and radar, you see we have a few showers and storms up here from San Antonio up to Dallas, and then a few right there into East Texas.
Many projects, however, are still in the works.
Up here for Oklahoma City, though, they're into Kansas and Kansas City.
Like the 4th
of July tornado watches that are in effect again today. That's not the only place, though, which actually again under tornado watches today. United States. And again, here's this little red area right here around Kansas City.
Land Office that he would remove them last week. However, as you can
down by a category, so we go from the red down into the orange, still midway along the scale there, and that's for the Dallas area up into Oklahoma and Arkansas. You see it does make it down into Waco and even maybe a couple of strong storms for the Austin and San Antonio area, but it does leave Corpus Christi out of that severe risk, and for the most part it leaves the coastal band out of the rain chances as well. But there's a little caveat, I'll show you that here in a second. 80 degrees is where we're headed down to tonight. It's going to be a mild and muggy night out there. Tomorrow we're headed up to 91 degrees for that afternoon high, and as I said earlier, it will feel like 102 during the meat of the afternoon. Wind forecast. You see tomorrow it's going to be another windy day, just like what we've seen for the past couple of weeks. But we are finally going to see this all calm down and head back to that normal Corpus Christi wind as we head into the end of this week and then this weekend as well, when those winds will be about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now they've had a lot of heat over the southeast for the past couple of days.
That was one of the first things I went to the judge about when I got here, was the security, because if you look at it,
but watch what happens to this high pressure as we head into next week. It's going to gradually move to the south, and then look at this Sunday into Monday of next week.
Responsibility, really, it's the sheriff's security. That's
see the temperatures continue to rise, and we're also going to see the rain chances hold off by that point. So we do have maybe one little chance of seeing some rain as we head into Thursday, but that really doesn't even include Corpus Christi. So look here, we've got temperatures right there in the low 90s all the way through Friday. There is the chance of a shower to the north of us on Thursday. So let's show you the coverage for that. This is mainly going to be including George West to Beeville and potentially even Refugio. One or two little showers could pop up. This is on not tomorrow, this is on Thursday. You see at least Corpus Christi in the southern part of our area out of that rain chance. And then as we head in through the rest of the weekend, starting next week, there's not any rain chances showing up, because that's where the high pressure is going to start to sit over top of us. Maybe seeing a stray coastal shower on Friday or Saturday, but that's going to again be up there closer to Refugio. And again, Saturday, hurricane season does kick off.
The courthouse is really great about getting grants. That's one of the places we get a lot of the money over here. So I think we need to look at the grants.
Saturday is free fishing day here in Texas. Every year on the first Saturday of June, everyone can fish recreationally without a license. The hope is that more people will try fishing for the first time and love it. Fishing licenses are not required for anyone under 17 or anyone born before January 1st of 1931.
And another source of funding could come from a capital
accused getaway driver in the murder of 13-year-old Alex
Torres
will be sentenced next week.
Now, to help folks cope with the extreme heat, Nueces County has opened up a number of cooling centers. Those centers opened just before noon today at libraries and county community centers like the Hilltop facility over in Annabelle, and they will be open today through Sunday. The cooling centers at the county's 5 community centers will be open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. The cooling center at the Keats Family Library in Robstown and the Bishop Library will be operating during regular library hours. And welcome back some of our local law enforcement officers and some members of the media gathered today to eat some ribs for a good cause.
It was all to help raise awareness for such special Olympics Texas.
At last report, the 2 injured were in stable condition. There is no information on what led to the shooting, but police say the suspect and victims did know each other.
Okay, Rich Jeremiah, there he is.
contractor of
Jeremiah
theft.
Marshall. He was one of our media members that took part in the eating contest.
It's the subject of tonight's all-new
Troubleshooters report. And you know who came out the winner this year? It was the Corpus Christi Fire Department. So our big congratulations to them. And Jeremiah, come on, man.
You're going to have to pick up the pace.
Come on. I know, right? Yeah, Jeff out in the water. Jeremiah eating rooms.
Well, 75 years ago today, tens of thousands of American and Allied soldiers stormed the shoreline of northern France to retake Western Europe from Nazi Germany.
One of the biggest D-Day ceremonies was held at the American Cemetery overlooking Omaha Beach, and it was the site of some of the invasion's bloodiest fighting.
Someday, Davis plans to sell
He owes me $18,000 gathering today to honor those surviving veterans who returned to the battlefield, which is now a sacred burial ground. More than 4,000 Americans were killed during the invasion, who were just 18 or 19 years old. President Trump speaking at a ceremony honoring the memory of every young man who never came home.
For instance,
you are among the very greatest Americans.
He was telling him, "Oh no, I'm taking it down to the plate down here."
You are the pride of our nation. You are the glory of our republic.
He's taking it back.
And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you. His batteries are bad.
Center paid tribute to those who lost their lives.
You hired him to do the job, and you're paying
the Center held a D-Day tribute, and it was in part also for the many World War II veterans who frequent that senior center. They were recognized for their service to the nation all those years ago. They were presented with gifts, and veterans led the group in the Pledge of Allegiance today. Afterwards, they were treated to an enchilada dinner.
Because I go to the
police, everything I think was great.
Get the hell on out of here. So now,
and I'm so happy with this group
right, well,
here.
We need you to file a police report, Mr. Davis, if you're serious about getting your money back. We'll let you know what happens next.
Luncheon followed
Whenever
by
you need
an
help from the
game
troubleshooters, you know what to do. Just send us an email at troubleshooters@kztv10.com.
Weather is brought to you by Wilcox Furniture. Great furniture delivered fast and guaranteed low prices. Now, the most accurate forecast in South Texas with meteorologist Juana Cunha.
This way he stays, you know,
the president of the local NAACP chapter will go before City Council tomorrow to voice his concerns about a float in last month's Navy Army Night Parade. It was sponsored by the Sons of Confederate Veterans, and it displayed a Confederate flag.
Was at work
Ali
when she
Cassetti
received
sat
a
down with the
notification on
president
her
of the
cell
local
phone that someone was at her
NAACP
front
today to discuss
door.
the issue. And Ali, what does he expect to gain from tomorrow's meeting?
The faculty is kind of expecting a lot, hopefully, to happen. NAACP President Terry Mills plans to speak during the public comment segment.
About 15 minutes passed by.
Now he has one
receives
main
another
objective, and that's to remove the Confederate flag
it's
from
the
the
mailman.
parade. A few weeks ago, a local reverend voiced his concern at the county commissioners meeting about the Confederate flag
Stacey says that for the past 40 years, her mother has been serving cold water to the mail carriers who work her route, not because she has to, but because she knows how miserable the heat can be.
And now the NAACP's president says he will reinforce the concerns expressed by the ministers.
We want the mayor and city council
work outside in the elements where we get to take shelter inside of the AC.
Wilson says the treats she sets out for the mail carriers aren't just
Mills
for the
says he's also got some questions he wants the city, county, and state officials to answer. Questions like, do elected city, county, and state officials endorse the
Mendez, who's been working this
Mills also asked, how are we still partnering with the Buccaneer Commission, which has no women on the board? We asked the Buccaneer Commission about Mills' comments. Johnny Filippello, the president of the Buccaneer Commission, said the commission stands by a previous statement which says, as a nonprofit organization, the Buccaneer Commission does not and shall not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, gender expression, age, national origin, political views, disability, marital status, sexual orientation, or military status in any of its activities or operations.
The mailman was caught on camera showing his appreciation. Has that story for us.
This way he stays, you know, nice and cool. Like clockwork, Elizabeth Wilson sets out 2 water bottles every morning for her
because the Buccaneer Commission receives their parade permit from the city.
Okay, Ali, thank you. City Council, by the way, the meeting is set to start.
Her daughter, Stacey Taylor, was at work when she received a notification on her cell phone that someone was at her front door.
Jeff Dubroff with your Chris 6 Sports Report.
Welcome back, everyone. We have reached that time of the year. Baseball is going to carry sports, and all eyes are on the hook to be a long road trip today and hope to return with the Texas League South title. They had a massive opportunity to take first place in the division, but after splitting the series with the Amarillo Sod Boys, the team is back in second place with just a handful of games remaining in the season's first half. The good news, the Frisco Rough Riders are struggling to win games, and it's anybody's division right now. The bad news, the Hooks begin a 6-game road trip. First game will be tomorrow, starting with the Texas League's best team, Arkansas Travelers. So look at the standings as we approach the final couple of weeks of the first half of the season. There you are. The Hooks in the middle of Rockhounds, just half a game back of the Frisco Rough Riders. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully the Hooks can win these tough games and come back home either in first or within striking distance.
Jenny Mendez, who's been working this route for the past 6 months,
now, after 18 seasons and 4 NBA championships, future Hall of Famer Tony Parker announced his retirement. 17 of those 18 seasons were spent in San Antonio while he played his final season with the Charlotte Hornets. He told the undefeated, if I can't be Tony Parker anymore and I can't play for championships, I don't want to play basketball anymore. The 6-time All-Star is the Spurs' all-time leader in assists and ranks near the top in games played.
And after a sweltering hot weekend today,
Tim Duncan and Mike Ginobili as the winningest in NBA history with 575 regular season win all times. You have to think his number will be heading to the Raptors very soon to join those two in the AT&T Center.
Watching Chris 6 News with Lisa Osley, Connie Uriarte, Ellen Harwell, and Dale Nelson. This is Chris 6 News at 6.
15 green sea turtles are back in the wild tonight.
And they couldn't be happier about it. Take a look.
Team spent a full week giving back to those in need.
All right, the turtles themselves gave a round of applause to volunteers from the Texas State Aquarium loaded them into these large plastic bins for a trip out to the National Seashore. And they were found stranded on our area beaches, and some of them in pretty bad shape.
So they are
thrilled. They were nursed back to health by volunteers at the aquarium.
Elderly folks on fixed income.
So dehydration, we just give them a big bottle.
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Doppler
back to the go.
Humidity down a little bit today, and that front is to the south of us, and right now it's still hot out there. It's record-breaking today. In fact, we're sitting at 90 at the Naval Air Station.
SPID, you can see a lot of clouds in the area, but not really much in the way of rainfall. We only had a few isolated showers today. We really didn't see much in the way of significant rain, except down around Baffin Bay. They got just unloaded on today, down to the south between noon and about 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's still raining lightly down there in the north end of it. A couple sprinkles in the area, but that's it. We did not have anything officially. Northerly winds, though, this is our little front that's come into the area. It's June, it's unusual to have it, but obviously very, very weak. We still hit 96 this afternoon. We're now at 92 degrees, and again with the thicker cloud cover that we saw on the sky.
So right now, certainly not a lot out there. As we look at the forecast model for tonight, you can see that it does show through about 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Still a few showers and storms popping up, not too many. And I don't expect anything severe with these, but some decent downpours, and they'd be very short-lived as we go through the overnight hours. Those will taper off to just a couple of showers here and there. But we'll have mostly cloudy skies tonight. You'll notice the clouds as we start the day tomorrow. And temperatures, well, not too warm tonight. We're going to drop into the low to mid-70s inland and upper 70s at the coast. 74 Corpus Christi tonight, thanks to a north wind at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And that north breeze tomorrow will continue, starting to shift around to the east by the afternoon. It's fairly light tomorrow, and temperatures stay mainly in the 80s to near 90 for highs. We do have a slight thunderstorm chance. This is what it's going to feel like. Those feels-like temperatures or heat indices stay in the 90s tomorrow. Forecast highs for the coastal bend for your Tuesday. Now notice the average high this time of year is 91, so we're actually going to be a little bit below average tomorrow, right around 89 for the
Department tomorrow and way lower than that 102 we had last Friday. High tomorrow will be 88 here and similar values in the 80s elsewhere in the coastal bend with the exception of the Fremont, Falfurrias area down in southern Jim Wells and northern Brooks County. All right, here is a look at the satellite radar. There is our little front, the height of the north stays north and pushes east.
Front that's going to give us a chance of a shower or thunderstorm not only tonight, but again tomorrow. We could have a couple pop up as well as Wednesday, more isolated. The northeast winds that are bringing down our humidity a little bit are going to be shifting later this week. And we watch the dew points for this. This is the dew point tracker. And remember, when we talk about dew points, it's like humidity. The lower these numbers, the better it's going to feel. But notice as I put this into motion, these stay right around 70, even some upper 60s. Not bad for this time of year. But those are going to start climbing. You see the wind shifting to the south by Friday and into Saturday.
And then we'll see additional activity develop here on Wednesday.
So with that, the wind is going to pick up too, and this weekend we'll see winds gusting as high as 30 miles an hour. Here is your 7-day forecast then, with temperatures staying closer to normal through the middle of the week. We still have an isolated storm chance Wednesday, and then we're dry for the rest of the week, but temperatures start to climb. Nights warm up back into the upper 70s to near 80, and those heat indices, those start to climb. If you wonder what the heat index is and why it has an effect on you, we can toss it out to Cole Vaughn. Now,
as of today, a somewhat controversial C District attraction is gone.
Why the
Crews have removed the statue of Christopher Columbus that stood between the Ortiz Center and the Museum of Science and History to make way for a new port administration building.
Involved in an overnight smash and grab style robbery
was dedicated in 1992.
It happened at the West
It's going to be stored until it can be displayed at the new administration building once it's completed. By the way, Native American activists who don't see Columbus in a positive light have asked that the statue be kept in storage.
Worth of damage. Police are still searching for the suspects and
it's going to get more expensive to run a business in downtown Corpus Christi.
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Williams with your Doppler 10 weather forecast.
In a flood zone.
Summer, but it sure feels like it out there.
Mandatory, and that would make it much more expensive to live and do business downtown. Here's Chris 6 investigative reporter Jessica Savage now with a look at what lies ahead.
Sunday.
City leaders and business owners are facing a tough reality. On one hand, the city of Corpus Christi has spent tens of millions of dollars to maintain the Salt Flats levee and the seawall system. On the other hand, FEMA says that's not good enough. And the reason is new data shows if a storm like Hurricane Harvey were to make landfall in downtown Corpus Christi, the levee and seawall would not protect the downtown area from catastrophic flooding.
Take a look at this as the sun was coming up. Some of those tropical-looking clouds across the area quickly cleared, though, and we ended up with plenty of sunshine.
Because of that, for the first time in 30 years, development and flood insurance requirements will have to change.
So the question really becomes is, can we make it affordable
right now? So we've been talking about heat indices, and they are going to stay very high through the weekend. And again, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of our
What's not yet known is just how high the flood elevation requirements will be in the downtown area, but some already are building to a higher standard. I'm standing at the corner of Park and Water Streets, where Frost Bank Building has this rock wall behind me under construction. That's actually a flood-proof wall, and it's where the electrical system for the building is located to prevent it from flooding.
This evening,
those standards would only apply to new construction. For existing businesses, the biggest change will be for flood insurance. It's something that House of Rock owner Casey Lane hasn't had to consider until now.
I don't know what the cost difference is going to be for insurance. It could be a lot, it could be a little.
He's run a music venue for 14 years with his most recent addition, a pizza kitchen that stays busy over the lunch hour. For new businesses, Lane had this advice.
You want to know exactly what you're up against before you start swinging hammers and before you start making plans, and so it's one more thing to kind of research and figure out before you make a commitment.
A commitment to the seawall and levee system is what Councilman Everett Roy wants business owners to know is top of mind.
The rip current risk is low, and we're looking at water temperature came up 2 more degrees since yesterday at 86 degrees, and looks like through Sunday that's going to continue as we see these very hot conditions with lots of sunshine. The wind, not very strong. It stays pretty light right through the weekend.
Since the flood is not final yet, there's no way to know exactly how much more expensive it will be to develop property or to carry flood insurance. The FEMA engineer who oversees the project said it could be another 2 years before those maps take effect. But something that business owners can do right now is buy flood insurance. That way, when the new maps take effect, business owners will be grandfathered in at the less expensive rate.
It's also going to give us,
Jessica Savage,
into a
6 Investigates.
weather pattern a little more
now,
favorable
FEMA says the elevation for the downtown area is about 9 feet above sea level. And if you want to check the elevation of your property on the draft maps, just look for this story on our website,
you can see those 90s to low 100s. Here is Sunday,
and City Work Camp is not your usual summer camp. It involves paint and roof
down
shingles.
A little bit. The wind shift to the north, and by 4 o'clock Monday, see the difference here.
To help fix up area homes, and teams spend a full week giving back to those who need it while learning new skills. This year, repairs are being made at 7 different locations, providing those who need it
hottest are Saturday, Sunday. We have an isolated rain chance Monday, and temperatures down to 96 degrees. Nights cool back into the mid-70s by the middle of the week, and days back into the lower 90s here with isolated storm chances through Wednesday. Slightly better chance Tuesday.
At the end of each workday, the team stays at a host church and enjoys some fun fellowship.
So a giant ice cream cone, talk about feeling cool, right? That was a fixture in Lamar Park neighborhood for years. Now has a new home. Check it out. A ribbon cutting was actually held outside its new home, which is the Ronald McDonald House. The giant cone used to decorate the lawn of Jennifer Hahn's home on Wilshire Place. After she passed away, her family decided to
David Croft donated the barge for a non-profit fundraiser is solely responsible for making
sure
that
a local college student is doing some groundbreaking research that could eventually be used by doctors to treat harmful bacteria like E. coli or Vibrio.
Chris 6 News reporter Ashley Portillo has more of his research efforts. Emmanuel Eric Cantu, police say Cantu's a Calaveras gang member accused of shooting 3 people outside of a store on 4th. Sandalio Zuniga died from his injuries.
The one being isolated, you can see the picture of that.
The Calaveras Motorcycle Club may raise questions about his ability to be impressive. The judge appointed Attorney Steve Sywitz to be a special prosecutor in this
He's developed a unique protocol to isolate those viruses.
Cristina Trevino has been dismissed and she will be released from jail.
So now we have this new tool, these new viruses that we can utilize
Trevino's accused of driving the getaway vehicle in the shooting death of
antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
Guilty of retaliation. This comes 2 weeks after a third mistrial in the murder case of David Davila, the man accused of killing.
And the bacterium he's studying, called Vibrio, is a foodborne pathogen.
Prosecutors claim Davila intended to shoot his ex-girlfriend but shot Torres.
But all of this research and effort to take a further look
23-year-old Mexican national is facing charges in connection with a deadly crash near Robstown. Ivan Dario Pura Moreno of Nuevo Leon, Mexico, was arrested yesterday. According to a court document, he was trying to smuggle 18 illegal immigrants when he was involved in a chase with Robstown police. As we reported, that chase was called off, but the SUV ended up crashing into a ditch. 6 people killed and at least 9 others
a crazy ride for me here at Delmar College. I am at this place that I've been
Well, on today's troubleshoots, the Simpson woman talks about paying a contractor more than $15,000
and they have some bright students there at Delmar College. Azadani says that there is more research to be done about these viruses. He says if someone using them isn't careful, it could cause problems. He adds that the viruses are a promising tool and will be less dangerous with less side effects than current and effective.
Today was the kickoff to the annual Spirit of Emancipation celebration. This is a 10-day celebration that leads up to Juneteenth. Juneteenth commemorating the freedom of slaves in Texas on June 19, 1865, 2.5 years after Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth Coalition reflects on the achievements of African Americans from slavery to the present.
Well, actually remembering where you come from really helps you to appreciate the present and not to dwell so much on the past, but we certainly need to remember it, and that way we can really appreciate the progress that we've made.
And there will be free events over the next 10 days to mark the occasion, including an evening of art and culture tonight at Coles High School.
She's not pleased with their work either.
Welcome back to your news at 5. They've been sitting in a Venezuelan jail for more than 18 months.
And on Friday, the men known as the Citgo 6 finally had their day in court. Chief Investigative Reporter Rick Sproul has the latest details.
The
Citgo 6 are 6 Citgo executives, one who helped run the company's Corpus Christi refinery.
Do you feel like they took advantage of you and your husband?
Yes, they did. They took advantage.
Associated Press is reporting the charges connected to a deal involving about $4 billion in Citgo-backed bonds. Bonds the Citgo executives were trying to refinance. As we've reported, the men's families have consistently insisted the men are innocent scapegoats of a corrupt regime. The daughter of one of the jailed executives publicly refuted the accusation again on Friday. He told me he believes the other contractors that the Canos hired convinced the family that the work that he had done was faulty and had to be redone just to make money. He also insisted he's not trying to do anything wrong,
and you can find our exclusive coverage of this story on our website under the 6 Investigates tab.
He's willing to do it even if it means giving her
This is Chris 6 News at 5.
Come to an amicable resolution.
Good evening. There are big changes ahead for Corpus Christi
all you have to do is drop us an email.
And flood insurance may become a requirement for businesses there, as well as new standards for development. While that decision is not final, our Chris 6 News investigative reporter Jessica Savage finds things are headed in that direction.
Katya, city leaders and business owners can agree that they have a tough reality ahead. On one hand, the city has to spend millions of tax dollars to maintain the levee and seawall system, and on the other hand, FEMA says that's not enough. It's not enough because if a storm like Hurricane Harvey were to make landfall in downtown Corpus Christi, FEMA says new information shows the levee and seawall system would not protect the area from catastrophic flooding. And now, because of that, development and flood insurance requirements will have to change. And what the city hasn't agreed to just yet is how high the flood elevation will be.
But in an effort to keep everybody safe in this heat,
resolved to the fact that we are going to see a flood elevation down there.
The City of Corpus Christi, in partnership with Reliant Energy for the past 10 years, are offering Beat the Heat cooling centers that will be open starting on Monday, June 10th and run through September.
That process could take up to 2 years.
So you can cool off
and just is there anything that business owners can do right now?
Katya, there is. You can buy flood insurance now, and that's the way that when the maps take effect, those who already have flood insurance will be grandfathered in at a less expensive rate. And coming up at 6, we're going to have reaction from downtown property owners about how this change could affect the recent momentum they've seen with more businesses.
Back
here in Corpus Christi, police are still looking for suspects involved in an early smash and grab burglary happening just after 2:30 this morning at the West Marine Fishing Business near SKID and Ennis Jocelyn. Police say the suspects used a vehicle to smash into the front doors. They took money, several items, and caused at least $5,000 worth of damage. Police are still looking for the suspects, and they are reviewing surveillance video.
According to the National Weather Service, the damage was caused by straight-line winds.
Is Chris 6 News at
several traffic lights were out due to the down power lines.
Welcome back. Tonight, 6 Investigates looks at a sea change ahead for downtown business owners. Flood insurance will soon be a requirement, and any new development will have to build up to meet new flood standards. While that decision is not final, 6 Investigates takes a look at what lies ahead if things continue as planned. Over the past several years, the city of Corpus Christi has spent millions in tax dollars to maintain the downtown seawall and levee system. It won't be enough to prevent catastrophic flooding if a storm like Hurricane Harvey were to make landfall in the downtown area. That's according to draft flood maps released by FEMA. City engineer Jeff Edmonds says there will be a change to downtown development going forward.
And with the heat and humidity we're seeing right now, that can be very dangerous.
Resolved to the fact that we are going to see even with a fan, it was flood elevation down there.
A week or so last August without air conditioning.
Hoping that
and her situation was made more difficult by woman's best friend.
I have a dog's park chow, and she,
will that flood
I wake up, I'm already
be?
hot, and she's up next to me like a heating pad, and I'm like,
property owners and
she and her
new
furry
development.
friends survived their sweltering ordeal,
Jessica
and now
Savage
she wants
will
to
have more
help
on that
protect
this evening
others.
at 5.
The committee
We'll
she
also tell
serves
you
on
what downtown
Corpus
business owners
Christi's
need
8
to know
senior centers
now
that double
to save
as
money
cooling
later.
centers in the summer.
It's nice in here. We have a special guest. This is Lightning McQueen. I'm going to go ahead and stand out of the way here in celebration of Celebrity Fan Fest. Yes, folks, this is Lightning McQueen. And after last year's DC Comics-centric event, the Celebrity Fan Fest is riding on that Avengers Endgame wave with the guest list featuring Marvel stars as Vision, Wong, Hawkeye. They're all going to be up in San Antonio at the Freeman Coliseum this weekend from the 14th through the 16th. We're going to take a closer look at Lightning McQueen. We really are excited. You have about another 20 minutes to get here if you want to pick. And we'll send it back to you for now, Mike.
But for now, Bryant hopes senior.
Welcome back, everyone. A very good Monday afternoon to you. We have a very warm day in the coastal bend. Not going to be quite as hot across the region today, courtesy of the weak frontal boundary that moved in. We're taking a live look at our Rockport weather bug here, and the temperatures are holding on to the lower 90s. Notice that north-northeasterly wind at 14 miles an hour. Same with our Aztec Chevrolet 6 weather bug off in Beeville. Pretty nice day. We have some mid and high level clouds across the region, and upper 80s all across the area. Rockport, the only exception, seeing 90 degrees there. A bit of a change because by this time, previous days, we were looking at about 92, 93 degrees. So we're looking at about 3 to 4 degrees cooler across the area for now with that weak little boundary that came in. As we look at the heat indices, though, once you step outside, it almost feels like 100 degrees out in the city of Corpus Christi, 100 off in Rockport, and still holding on to the 90s for the inland areas. Here's a trick to the forecast. Our dew points are down, even though they are fairly healthy at this point, muggy to oppressively hot. The past couple of days, we've seen these numbers closer to 80 degrees off and about, so these are running at about 2 to 5 degrees drier over the coastal bend at this point. And as we look at the dew point forecast over the next several days, like I mentioned, even though they are healthy at this point, they're still lower than what we have been experiencing over the weekend and over much of the last several weeks as well. So highs for today will range into the lower 90s all across the coastal bend, about 92 here in the city. As we look at the hourly forecast, again, we'll be looking at plenty of cloud coverage for us here, but don't get me wrong, there's still going to be plenty of breaks of that sunshine as we top out at about 92 degrees for the peak heating of the day at about 3 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. There's our weak boundary. Notice there's a couple of little thunder showers off into the Gulf of Mexico. We'll look for 1 or 2 of those to migrate here in the area, but overall not going to be seeing a whole lot. Most of the rainfall, especially from last night from Austin to San Antonio, migrated towards the west near the Big Bend, and that's where that stays as high pressure continues to sink right on in. There is some cooler air up to the north. As we take a look at what we have going on with the water vapor imagery, we have this low that's going to continue to dive on down. Again, it's not a whole lot of cold air. In fact, it's not cold air at all. Again, it's going to bring us some slightly drier air to the coastal bend as that dome with high pressure migrates off to the west of us. So again, getting a little bit of relief from the heat, but not so much in the way that you're actually going to feel the cooler temperatures in the region. So let's look at it on the cloud rain forecast again later on this afternoon. We could see a couple of little spotty showers off and about, but overall, we'll hold on to the cloud coverage across the region. This will be overall at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I think we'll see more activity as we go into tomorrow afternoon as we activate the afternoon sea breeze, and with the peak heating of the day, we'll see some thunder showers erupt and go into about 6 o'clock in the afternoon before everything peters on out by Wednesday morning and on into the Wednesday afternoon time frame. So that's what we're looking there as far as the winds are concerned. We'll hold on to that northerly component at about 10 to 15 miles an hour over the region, and then by, again, this is this afternoon, they will lighten up as we go into tomorrow morning. That may allow a little bit of some fog to form, but overall, not a whole lot. As we take a look at the NEC Co-op Energy 7-day forecast, 92 for today, 88 tomorrow. Again, tomorrow is our best opportunity to see some scattered thunder showers. Then that goes away, going on into Wednesday, Thursday, 93, 94. The humidity will start to pick back up, and we'll look for the wind to increase and the increasing humidity back in the forecast with middle 90s. Mike, send it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Warren. We'll check in with him again coming up in just a bit. A local college student is doing some groundbreaking research that could eventually be used by doctors to treat harmful bacteria like E. coli or Vibrio. Chris 6 News reporter Ashley Portillo has more.
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with
Mike,
your
as an undergraduate biotechnology
forecast.
Student, Daniel Nazareth has shared his research with hundreds of other students from around the world. And recently he traveled to Germany where he gave a presentation on his findings on a virus that attacks bacteria. But now he has the sights on some more research this summer where he'll look at how this virus changes the characteristics of its bacteria.
Yeah, the heat is on across the area, and we're also going to see that the heat index continuing to be very high. Where it is right now, it feels like 114 outside right now with 96 degrees.
Members of the NAACP will go before the Corpus Christi City Council tomorrow.
Temperatures are still holding in the triple digits
their concerns about a float that appeared in the Navy Army Night Parade. Now that float was sponsored by the Sons of the Confederacy. Chris 6 News reporter Ali Cassetti joins us here in the studio with details. Ali?
Feeling like 100
Mike, according
right
to a statement from the NAACP, the group wants to ask publicly elected officials
so the wind's not very strong, and that's going to be the case the next couple of days. They do pick up a little bit later in the weekend, but we're looking at winds mainly under 15 miles an hour from the southeast.
Why they are still
as far as
partnering with
storms,
the
we do have that severe
which they say
thunderstorm
has
watch
no women
until 10 o'clock tonight.
And
most
the
of the
NAACP
storms are
says they
staying
will
well
go
to our
before City
north, but we
Council
do have some
tomorrow
showers. Further details on that later on tonight. These have been tracking to the
All right, thank you for that, Allie.
And there's nothing severe here.
In
Just some
health news
rain.
this morning, those who battle fibromyalgia
and that
are no
is tracking
strangers to
eastward as we have them
unexplained
very
pain
scattered
and
about the
fatigue.
area.
We're going to go now live to Doctors Regional Hospital where Roland Rodriguez is this morning.
You may not get one of these, but if you do, we're going to keep an eye on them because we have that potential they could develop and become strong or severe. But you can see
good morning, Mike, and good morning, South Texas.
Here and there, all the way into about mid-evening, and then they start to pull off the coast in the end.
One is medication, another is through physical therapy.
Stabilizing and will be dry in the overnight hours. But until then, we're keeping an eye for the potential of damaging wind, which is the main threat. If those storms can get going and become severe, it's damaging wind and some large hail would be possible. Tonight's lows stay in the mid-70s, well inland, but closer to the coast, upper 70s to near 80 tonight. A dry overnight is expected. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine and temperatures heating up fast. We make it to 98 by 2 o'clock with the heat index closing in on 115.
The fact that
again tomorrow afternoon, and you can see those temperatures anywhere from 102 at Mathis, Kingsville, 104 for the high at Allis tomorrow, 98 Corpus Christi to 92 at Rockport. It's just hot everywhere, and it's going to stay like this over the next few days. So if you're heading to the beach, looks like good beach weather tomorrow as waves are coming down to 2 to 3 feet, and we'll have lots of sunshine. Well, those storms that we're seeing in Texas right now are being brought on by an upper-level low-pressure system, which is going to continue to pull out of the area. That is, moves out, leaves us dry for the weekend. No rain in the weekend forecast as high pressure aloft continues to build, giving us that sinking and heating air. But the good news is, although it's going to be a scorcher through the weekend, that high pressure ridge starts to back off. And as it does, next week we'll start cooling down a little bit by Tuesday and Wednesday as little upper-level disturbances come through. We could even have a few showers or a thunderstorm early next week around Tuesday and Wednesday. But the weekend is sunny and hot. You can see those temperatures a lot like they were today, as those heat indices will be as high as 115. Here is your 7-day forecast, and this is brought to you by AutoNation Super Zero event. Get new cars and trucks with absolutely zero due at signing. Visit AutoNation.com. The next 7 days, as I mentioned, we get a little relief early next week, but until then, record-setting heat expected through Sunday. Heat indices as high as 117.
Again, while there is treatment for this disorder, there's still no
eating
cure.
ribs for a good
now let's head back to the studio and check in with our
That's what some
morning
local
weather
law enforcement officers and a few members of the media like myself did today, all to raise awareness.
All right, thank you very much, Roland. We're starting off this morning to start off the work week pretty mild and warm. Temperatures are all over the coastal bend, are checking into the lower 80s right now. There's one little trick here, though, something we haven't seen in a little while. Look at these winds. We have a northerly component to the wind out there right now. And believe it or not, there is a weak frontal boundary that is moving through the region at this point, but still, we're going to see warm temperatures not only to start off this morning, it's still going to be muggy out there. It's going to be a gradual effect. We have the clouds that are coming in. Most of us are seeing mainly cloudy skies across the region, but the humidity will slowly start to come down as we head into the afternoon and on into the evening hours as well. Even early this morning, we could still see a couple of little showers. Most of the shower activity has been up to the northwest, out in the watershed area, but nonetheless, we could pick up 1 or 2 of those showers. North-northeasterly winds will be with us today, right at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. We're still going to top out into the lower 90s for us here. So as we look at the forecast highs, we'll look at about 92 here, upper 80s to lower 90s near the coastline, and even our inland communities again with the cloud coverage. We'll see it'll still be at about 90 to 92 degrees, and that's still fairly decent considering the fact that we have been reaching the upper 90s to even low triple digits over the last couple of days. If we are going to be headed out to Padre Mustang Island, the bays will be slightly choppy, and the rip current risk is going to be low to moderate, so use caution with that northerly wind 10 to 15. We have a bit of an outflow that's coming in from some of those storms that are up to the northwest of us at this point, but even that activity is beginning to die down. There's that weak little frontal boundary, and that'll begin to ease into the area later on today. By midday should arrive here as high pressure up to the north continues to move in. They're into the 50s up into the panhandle this morning. Wouldn't that be a treat to wake up to? But that's not going to be headed our way. Again, we're holding at 81 here, 65 off in San Angelo, and into the lower 70s off near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Even a little bit of dry air. They're into the 40s up there, but again, we're holding on to the 70s here at this point and on our way to the upper 60s to lower 70s as far as dew points are concerned. High pressure, there's a lot of it up to the north of us. In fact, over the next couple of days, another couple of series of frontal boundaries will start to come in, and as it does so, we'll still hold on to a little bit of a potential of some showers as we go into tomorrow afternoon. But that dome of high pressure, which gave us all the hot temperatures over the weekend, has started to back off towards the west of us and even have the 30s and 40s up in the northern sections of the state. So we're going to stay a little bit warm today, but over the next several days we're going to have these series that will come in of little disturbances, and that'll cool things off just a little bit, and we'll also see the dew points go down into the upper 60s over the next couple of days as well. So that's not going to be too bad before they raise going on into the weekend. Our NEC Co-op Energy 7-day forecast, 92 today, 88 on Tuesday, and a couple of scattered thunder showers for the next 48 hours. They'll taper off on Wednesday, back to 94 Thursday, Flag Day, 95 degrees there, and we go windy, increasing humidity on into Father's Day weekend with highs into the middle 90s. Stay with us. You're watching Chris 6 News Sunrise.
Pets cannot sweat, meaning they cannot control their body
streets and
temperatures
front
like
yards
we do.
are littered with broken tree limbs.
Heat stroke
so what
develop
folks
a lot
do to clear their brush
because of that.
Chris 6 News reporter Jeremiah Marshall tells us what that community is doing to help the process.
To be heat stroke, the best thing to do would be to wrap them in a cool towel, not too cold, because we don't want to drop the body temperature too quickly. And then call your veterinarian and let them know that you're on your way and get them into the closest one.
There are places that you
when
can
it comes
go
to protecting your pet from the sweltering heat, keep in mind,
we had
if it's too hot for you, it's
tree
probably
uprooted
too
in the
hot for
backyard.
them also. Those wrecks and other recent emergencies have the blood supply running
brought
thin
straight
at
line
the
winds
worst
hit
time of the
Kingsville hard
year.
and caused not only power outages, but of course much damage to trees.
We got another load to do.
Kingsville residents continue to clean up the mess Mother Nature left.
Here. It's really a double whammy in the summer. The need typically goes up while the supply goes down.
Some are helping their neighbors too.
Feels
like communities coming together. We're getting our city back together. Operational.
So this is our hospital service department.
And when you service hospitals in 10 coastal Bend counties, you need a lot of blood.
Avenue B
Take a look.
We are in very much dire need of blood donations right now, of all blood types, but especially blood type O.
And while I love all you O-negative blood types, the universal donors to come get blood, the Coastal Bend Blood Center will take any donor they can get right now.
And as
That's
many pack
especially
their
true
trailers
heading
on a
into
hot day
summertime
to these
when a
spots,
bad combination happens.
They know
We
there's
always
more
tend to
work
see,
ahead.
I got about 4 more houses to do today.
And then
I'm going to try to do two and a half That's why they fired off this Facebook post today. It's a call for blood donations following, quote,
we will
multiple
recover.
traumas
It's going
here
to
in the
take a
coastal
little
bend.
while,
I saw a post
but
on
we're getting better and better by the day.
And city workers also say they have more assessments to do, and with the results of those assessments, they can figure out what they're going to do and what areas they can tackle next.
With Charlie Alegria,
the brush.
who's been donating blood products since
Now, the most
1974.
accurate weather forecast in South
I know that
Texas
a lot of my
with
playlists go to cancer
meteorologist Tom
victims
Harris.
and to burn victims.
And welcome back, where we started our morning with a little bit of cloud cover, some fog out there, burned off pretty quickly, still warm out there, 91 degrees in Kingsville. Weather camera is brought to you by Nissan GMC. We're a little bit warmer here in Corpus Christi, and boy, these storms up north have been the story over the past 24 hours.
To go out and get
down
blood,
trees, heavy rainfall may travel very, very difficult. We've got a cold front moving across parts of North Texas, and that shower activity could be impacting us as we go back to work. Right now we're at 95 degrees, sunny skies. Winds are to the southeast at 10 miles per hour. Daytime high today, 97. We should be about 90 degrees. We broke the record of 96. That was set back in 1948. A mild start with 77 degrees this morning. 89 is the current temperature in Rockport. 102 in Beeville. Alice at 99. Both Valfarius and Hebbronville 105. When you factor in the humidity, feels a lot warmer than that. Feels like 113 degrees right now at the Naval Air Station. The same for Alice Valfarius, about 115. So we do have that heat advisory in effect for this evening through about 7 o'clock. So definitely still use caution if you are going to be outdoors, although the temperature's starting to drop off. The winds out of the southeast about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Gives us a little bit of a break, not much. Combination radar and satellite imagery, mostly clear skies here in South Texas. Potential for severe storms right here. We got this front coming in. That's dropping southward, and that's what's going to give us some cooler temperatures as we move into the week ahead. But the bullseye for the severe storms basically in this area right here. Anybody traveling just south of Dallas, Waco to Austin. Now there's a slight chance of severe storm from San Antonio, pretty much halfway between
patrol, every now and then a police officer will still show up for a call to service, even if a human is not the one being attacked.
Some of those showers and thunderstorms dropping southward as they get closer to us, likely to dissipate, but those are going to redevelop as we move into Monday afternoon. And with the clouds, temperatures tomorrow should be in the lower 90s. We're looking at some of that cooler air across the panhandle right now. Very pleasant.
Campbell told us he could have shot the dog, which according to the Texas Health and Safety Code would have been legal. He says the owner of the dogs that killed his cat did apologize and paid for expenses.
The West Coast is quiet. Here's the storm system that brought us all the heavy rains Thursday night.
And 5 more Wheel of Shame fugitives are behind bars.
Across the upper Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. You can see the contrast with temperatures in the 60s and 70s here with the heat across much of the eastern half of the nation. Here's a look at our forecast for tonight. Partly cloudy and mild. We'll see an overnight low of 78 degrees. For tomorrow, looking for partly sunny, showers and thunderstorms possible. Daytime high right around 91 degrees. 7-day forecast is brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. So showers and thunderstorms Tuesday. Looking for
Hi everyone, I'm Captain Monica Rios from Wessex County Sheriff's Office.
Nice.
And it's time for a Wheel of Shame. This is your chance to make some extra cash by getting these guys off the streets and behind bars all day long. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel.
90s. Jeff's going to have a look at the
top 10 most wanted fugitives. Whatever fugitive the wheel lands on, Crime Stoppers will increase that reward to $500 for 1 month.
This is a Chris 6
And the wheel has landed on Marcus Kurbatoff. Marcus Kurbatoff is wanted for motion to revoke probation for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and assault family violence choking. His date of birth is February 22nd, 1988. He's approximately 5'10", 181 pounds, with red hair and blue eyes. If you have any information or need to locate Marcus Kurbatoff or any of the fugitives in our wheel, please call Crime Stoppers at 888-TIPS. For a complete list of all Melissa County's top 10 most wanted fugitives, go to KZTV10.com.
Coconut shrimp. But if you're not a shrimp lover, they're going to have a lot more for you as well. There's also a carnival going on today and 2 main stages with bands being played, and you're going to have a chance to get out here and dance. If all that doesn't interest you, there's also going to be an exotic petting zoo, and a lumberjack show going on over there. And if that's not enough to bring you out, well, the food should be. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful time if you are coming out. Then the event's going to start at noon, and it's going to run until 6 o'clock. They will have places to sit down if you're worried about the heat. There'll be $5 to get in on this Sunday, and if you have any more questions, you can go to christv.com to check it all out. Now for Tom Harris with the weather.
Good morning, Kristen. Definitely looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day to head out there for the shrimpery.
Corpus Christi PD is not giving up on finding these guys and bringing them to justice.
It's going to be hot. Well, we are looking at some cloudy skies out there as we take a live look outside with our sky cam, some patchy fog in a few of those locations. Now, we've been talking about the storm that rolled through Thursday night for the past couple of days. Well, now they're impacting the southeast, and it's flooding that's causing the problems there, especially over in North Carolina. Some flooding problems also in Florida, and they are not quite done yet. They've just been inundated with heavy rain for a couple of weeks now. We're looking at 78 degrees with cloudy skies. The winds are most.
We're drowning at an epidemic level, and there's
93% most of our temperatures in the upper 70s, lower 80s. 80 in Rockport, 80 in Beeville, 80 this morning in Alice. Now we are seeing light winds out there, and with that moisture in place, we are seeing some fog, not quite as thick as we saw yesterday, but the visibility at about 3 miles in Robstown, Beeville, driving a Camaro in Orange was involved in a crash with an 18-wheeler. It's going to be hot around 2:30. Tovar was killed. The medical examiner says the cause of death was blunt force trauma to the body. But we do have a heat advisory, and that means the heat index values expected to be right around 110, so use caution when you're outdoors today. You can see a little bit of that cloud cover and fog that's coming across the area. We're going to see one more very hot and dry day.
Officers tried to stop an SUV near the Robstown Fairgrounds, but the driver went into a cotton field.
As we
Several
head
people
into
were
our
seen
Monday,
walking in the area, and that's when police learned the vehicle
had I think a lot of people are going to like that. Now today it's going to produce some pretty big thunderstorms up to our north, doing any traveling up into San Antonio, Austin, especially Waco and Dallas. This is the bullseye for the best chance of severe storms, large hail, gusty winds as well. As the potential for heavy rain. Future tracker does indicate that those thunderstorms will fire off late as we move into the night.
In this
and then
area
they'll probably dissipate as they come into our direction, but then they're going to redevelop into Monday evening. Temperatures around the state, 65 in Amarillo, 73 in Abilene. Houston is looking at 74 degrees.
Now,
things are pretty quiet.
Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Doppler 10 weather forecast.
Storms that we've been talking about.
We saw the overnight rain heavy at times, and it did cause street flooding, but fortunately it wasn't widespread. However, some areas were impacted, including Karankawa near Boucher Park in Corpus Christi. Now, dip in the road there is notorious for flooding, and at least one driver did stall out in the roadway. That rain, again, it was rather isolated, where we did see the heaviest pockets of rain, and you can see Port Aransas picking up 6.9 inches, and we also saw 3 inches on Padre Island. As you headed inland, the Corpus Christi area, 2 inches was common. I saw a lot of rain gauges reporting 2 to almost 3 inches of rain, but as you get farther to the west, it dropped off, and the airport only at 800.
Tuesday,
we did get some heavy rain, just not all of us got it, especially if you live inland, you're been pretty dry. This is a beautiful weather photo taken yesterday when those showers are moving in. Yesterday, in the latter part of the day, and this taken by Lorena Montes Luna of Robstown. There's this rainbow as that rain was pushing through the area at Robstown yesterday.
Welcome back,
all right, outside right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 90s. It's sticky out there this afternoon, and that sun certainly is beating down on us with 96 degrees at Corpus Christi, 95 at Kingsville right now. The heat indices are up above 100. It's just very hot out there. Heat index of 108 right now in Corpus Christi. Well, the rain has moved up the coastline. There's still a chance we could have a couple of showers develop this evening. You can see a little bit of moisture here to our south and west lifting in. So tonight, can't rule out another shower or two in the area, but overall, we're not going to see too much rain as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures down to 79 tonight, and tomorrow that heat cranks up again. In fact, we make it to near 96 degrees by 2 in the afternoon. The heat index climbing to near 110 degrees.
Makes this area a better place.
It's steamy out there, and that wind under 15 miles an hour. Nothing strong in the wind department over the next couple of days. Highs tomorrow nearing 100 degrees at Alice, Kingsville, Falfurrias, 98 Orange Grove, 97 Corpus Christi, to 88 at Port Aransas, and we do have a chance we'll see an afternoon thunderstorm tomorrow.
A new exhibit at the Texas Surf Museum showcases the healing power of surfing for some who served during the Vietnam War. It tells the story of China Beach and how it helped U.S. military personnel during times of distress. The museum is working with USO South Texas to bring the display to the public. That exhibit depicts the unique surfing experience during that area, what it meant to those veterans, and how surfing was therapeutic for them, both during the war and after they returned.
Close eye on late in the day tomorrow, as we do have a slight to enhanced risk of severe storms. What are the main threats? The main threats are damaging wind as well as large hail. So not many of us are going to see them, but those that do, we're going to have to watch for the severe chance tomorrow. Now, temperature-wise,
and the Texas Surf Museum hopes that the exhibit will attract Vietnam veterans who served at China Beach
we see of this heat wave that begins tomorrow as it ramps up through the weekend. And you can see future temperatures here indicating tomorrow.
Well, back here at home, hundreds of people joined members of the LGBTQ community for this year's Pride Parade.
Heading into Friday, it's even a little hotter. 100 to 105 inland.
Kicked off the parade along Shoreline Boulevard. Organizers say the parade represents a message of unity by showing that people who identify as LGBTQ are an important part of this community. Now, this is one of the big events of Pride Week. It's been going on for 4 years now, and the turnout seems to grow
something that
each
certainly
year.
Use caution here. You've got to be outdoors, slow down,
sense the happiness, the excitement.
Here's a 7-day forecast, and you'll notice those temperatures do climb.
Folks that are out here today are not just members of the LGBTQ community, but you have allies and family members and friends here from across the community.
So that's a possibility.
And after the Pride Parade, a block party
kicked
off at Water's Edge, and that's actually going to be going on until 9 o'clock tonight.
Chance Thursday,
and while many have been out of power, they threw their food out, and so for a lot of families, feeding their children became a real challenge. Thankfully, the Coastal Bend Food Bank noticed the problem and stepped in to help. Chris 6 News reporter Jeremiah Marshall went to Kingsville and has more.
The past few days in Kingsville have been rough for many residents here as they deal with downed trees and power outages. But the Coastal Bend Food Bank is here to help.
Helps a whole lot. I appreciate it.
God bless.
And I'm glad they came.
A long line of vehicles surrounded Los Hermanos Flores Park in Kingsville as residents waited patiently to grab ready-to-go meals so they can feed their loved ones.
Oh, it's going to help us a lot. We have 2 sets of twins, and our electricity went out for almost 24 hours. So, you know, we had to throw everything pretty much away.
Volunteers with the Coastal Bend Food Bank had their game plan.
Cut these open. We're going to give them 4.
And the scorching heat wasn't going to stop these volunteers to load trunk after trunk.
I do it for the people. I do it for my church. So that's what I do.
Cancer patients took a break
I try to help the people out as much as I can.
20 patients
Staff with the Coastal Bend Food Bank shared they did a morning drop-off at a nearby church. However, there were many people at the park waiting.
And they said, well, I guess there's nobody coming, so we left. We've been here for about 2 hours, coming and going, seeing what was going on.
And to make sure these
when a child's diagnosed with
as well
cancer, their whole life changes. They can't go to school, they can't participate in sports, they can't do all the activities they're used to doing. So when we get to do events like this and be able to take them out and provide this for them, and they get to feel normal for a little bit, it's awesome for them.
Actually distribute these are even handed out for the biggest fish, smallest fish, weirdest fish, and most pounds of fish.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nikki with Radio. Well, right now in Kingsville, thousands are still waiting to have their power restored. Those outages
This is your Action 10 Kitchen Cops Report,
now, as of earlier
brought to you
today,
by
about
Chubby's Mattress, where there's no limit to what a man and a dog can do.
Of outages when 9,600 people didn't have power. AEP Texas says it hopes to have power restored by 8 o'clock tonight to 95% of people who live in the Kingsville area.
Diner on Ayers, a 97, but dropping down to the
forecast in South Texas with meteorologist Tom Harris.
And definitely bring your sunscreen if you're heading out to the shrimpery. It's going to be hot again as we head into Sunday. Now, we did see a little bit of fog across the area this morning. Right now, it's 91 degrees in the Kingsville area, but cleared up as we move throughout the afternoon with lots of sunshine. Our weather bug camera brought to you by Nissan GMC. It's still 95 degrees.
You might have shot that house too. Do you think you did that?
Not homie, at 9 miles per hour. Feels like 108 degrees. Daytime high, 98. That breaks the old record set back in 1955 of 97 degrees. A low this morning of 78 degrees. Now it's still 99 degrees in Calcaria, Chesterville, 103, 98 in Warren Grove, being built to fly longer distance. Humidity feels more like 111 at the Naval Air Station, 110.
Cargo carrying
Kingsville, 150 degrees in Alice. So we do have an excessive heat warning for the areas in the purple, heat advisory for the areas
cargo drones
throughout the rest of the coastal bend. Just as the index values
that are safe,
and 215. Not getting a whole lot of relief.
They can also be a regulatory nightmare. There's a reason that giant companies like Google and Amazon and UPS are pushing ahead with their plans to fill the skies with carbon growth. Morgan Stanley estimates that autonomous urban aircraft will eventually become a $1.5 trillion industry. And that includes everything from vertical takeoffs in aircraft, cars, military UAVs, and yes, there are a whole bunch of delivery routes that are tested. What if you want to receive something that's indicating we're going to see more before they can rake in all that cash? Drone operators now these devices can deliver a social good. That's why so many pilot programs have delivery. Matternet is working with the case is going to be full of discharge on local. There's going to be a zipline is flying in medical supplies. 108 Honda, Arrow is dispensing vaccines and other medications to the islands and Pacific. All those drones what about the ones that are still under
same system that
call them cargo drones. Drones that are built to fly higher and further than anything available today. All multi-air now 64. So really had to stop the Saberwing is working on a project
all of the evidence, including whether the bullet from the rocking horse matches the neighbor's
called Regal, which
there's only one acceptable outcome.
Another is called Not a Wind.
This 170 forecast by NBC Energy shows that predators in on Monday.
Capable of transporting 700 pounds of isolated showers of 2,500 on
Wednesday. Those
the company is also working on a larger scale,
lower 90s freighter. Looks like it's drying as we get closer to.
Both companies are using measures associated with because they're being designed to take off and land in the water.
That's because they probably won't get the regulatory approval to fly. Families feeding their children became a real challenge.
Aerospace giant
noticed the problem and stepped in to help. Officials reported in Myanmar went to Kingsville.
What kind of work goes into building a cargo?
The past few days in Kingsville,
find out, we visited the offices of the
residents here as they sit with down trees and companies out autonomous but the Coastal Bend Food Bank,
Elroy's CEO Dave Merrill talked about the challenge of building an aircraft capable of carrying this kind of weight.
At this scale, there's a lot more modeling that goes in, a lot more aerodynamics that goes in. You need more capital, you need specialized expertise for testing each building block. So it's really a different kind of effort than building a small drone system.
Merrill said that while some companies are retrofitting their drones for autonomous flight, Elroy is building its aircraft to be self-flying. They are being built to attach and drop cargo, as well as take off and land without any human interaction.
So the aircraft is able to land, taxi to a cargo pod, pick it up, and then take off again without needing a person to come out and load or unload the system. And we did that to save time so that the aircraft can just stay always in motion, always being utilized. And they also are designed for much longer range. Most delivery drones, people are thinking about the last mile. We think about the last 100 miles.
Elroy envisions its system being used to deliver packages over medium distances in rural areas or between distribution centers.
The benefit of vertical takeoff and landing is that you have a lot more flexibility in where the system can operate from. So it can take off and land from an airport or a helipad, but also it can take off from a parking lot or the rooftop of a parking garage, or even a field.
The company hopes to have a fleet of autonomous drones in the air making deliveries by 2020.
I don't think it's as far away as we think, but I do think that companies are betting that some portion of automated flight are going to be moving stuff around that's not just small packages.
This idea of using drones to move goods between giant warehouses
volunteers for the Coastal Bend
but also it raises some valid concerns about energy.
The bay from the USS
2018 study found that electric
wasn't going to stop these volunteers to load trunks.
A drone can reduce greenhouse gas emissions for package delivery in most areas of the country by a decent amount. And it really loads carbon electricity grids like out west in New York State. It can reduce it by half.
And though the study found that benefits may be reduced from electricity used in charging warehouses factory, drones clearly have less environmental impact than one item. Today, the big problem is regulation. The unresolved issues include whether it is safe to allow drones to fly beyond a pilot visual site, operate at night, or to fly over people. To answer these questions, the FAA created a pilot program to see how a drone delivery system might work in real life. Wing and Uber are two of the companies participating, but not Amazon, which is instead testing its drones with a consortium of European companies.
And to see how you can make donations to the food bank and help out those efforts, you can go to our website.
Going on right now. The technology, as it advances,
I reached out to
think through how it's going to meet those certifications and make it safe for everybody.
Whatever set of guidelines the FAA and private sector come up with could have huge implications, not just for cargo, but also maybe for the way that we get around it. Urban air mobility is increasingly a hot pursuit among tech and aerospace companies. As ridiculous as it sounds, the idea of flying cars is gaining serious traction. People are investing hundreds of millions of dollars in drone companies today because they believe that they will be more efficient and better for the environment than the current system. And that's making people really nervous. A Pew Research Center survey in 2017 found that 11% of Americans support drones, while 34% favor some limits on them. 54% of drones fly into residential areas, cite privacy and noise. Developers can address these concerns and build out additional delivery drones and
this year's going to have record attendance, registration parade, and record registration block party.
Now, what's the parade lineup looking like today?
We have 50 plus entries with floats, vehicles, and marchers, and we'll have over 500 people. By far our largest parade. It's going to be 1 mile long from Interstate 37 shoreline south down to Water's Edge.
Chief Meteorologist
Sharon Ray with your Dr. 10 weather forecast.
Well, today was one of those days where we had showers come through, but by the time you noticed it was raining, it might have already been sunny, as they've been very brief, but on and off through much of the morning hours. And those will continue on and off through tomorrow. But as the thicker moisture comes in, that looks like it is going to bring with it the potential for some heavier downpours, especially by tomorrow morning. But right now, we do have a little bit of rain out there, certainly very light, as it's pulling to the north and west. And you can see off the coast right here, there are some showers, and those are pulling to the north and west. So as we track these, as they head in our direction, those would be in Flower Bluff close to 5 o'clock, and then into Corpus Christi about 5:26, and Ingleside at 5:30. So a little bit of rain coming down, but there's nothing bad with any of this, and we need the rain. Our lawn's been getting pretty dry, so it's nice to see some of this moisture as it's moving in. But that's not going to be all. We still have plenty more to the south. As that upper wave comes in, we'll have on and off rain through tomorrow. Temperatures right now, though, with the clouds and some of that rain have cooled down. We're at 85 at Robstown, to 83 at Ingleside right now, and 82 at Port Aransas. Those temperatures, though, aren't going to cool much tonight. We only dropped to 78 or so. It's going to stay near 80 in the beaches tonight. So still pretty warm out there, and as we get towards the morning, we'll see those showers and even an isolated storm or two in the area. Tomorrow, with the rain, we're also seeing more heat, although the temperatures will top out closer to 90 tomorrow. The heat index will still be at about 103, 104 in the afternoon, with winds under 15 miles an hour, and temperatures tomorrow in the mid-80s at the beaches, to the lower 90s in our inland areas. This is something to enjoy. Tomorrow's the last day.
Well, we are looking for a very hot weekend here in the coastal bend. A little hazy out there as we take a live
Here's future track then. As we go through tonight, again, you can see those showers increasing in the late night hours. This is 3 in the morning. Showers and a couple of thunderstorms possible. Some beginning to produce some heavy downpours tomorrow early in the day. Watch for that. As you head to work in the morning, you may run into some pockets on the roadways or some ponding rather on some of the roadways. Heading into 8:30 in the morning, still light showers turning into heavier showers in places, especially from Rockport north.
Right now we're at 81 degrees with sunny skies. Winds are mostly
nevertheless, we're continuing on and off rain through tomorrow evening. As it tapers off tomorrow evening, it's mainly dry until Thursday afternoon. That's when we could pick up a couple of storms. But Thursday afternoon looks like a better chance for inland locations as a front comes in. So farther inland you live on Thursday, you might get a few storms, and keep an eye on those because with all the heat, if 1 or 2 storms can get going, they could be strong or severe for Thursday. All right, potential future rain through Thursday. Most of this is going to come Wednesday. Tonight through Wednesday, we have the potential of seeing 1.5 to 3 inches from Rockport northward, a half an inch to an inch from Kingsville up to about Corpus Christi. As we know, tropical rains can produce a lot all at once, so that's why you saw those ranges there. And this is the severe storm potential for Thursday. We're right on the edge of that. Now, take a look at this. These are temperatures. This is Thursday at 4 o'clock. These are not heat indices. These are temperatures. 101 at Alice, 94 at Corpus Christi, 90 at Beaver. Now look at Friday. It stays all the way from Friday into Saturday. We have that extreme heat.
That's going to
inland areas reaching over 100,
and we're going to be watching
areas,
storm system coming in from the west. Yes, a weak cold front is going to come in, and that's going to give us a chance of showers.
Here's your 7-day forecast then. Once the rain chances end Thursday, we're dry Friday and into the weekend. Temperatures reaching into the mid to upper 90s, and as I showed you inland,
today the only storms we might see
the heat indices up to 114. A heat advisory is likely to be issued by
for the most
Thursday.
part, a few passing clouds. Then much the same as we head into your Sunday. Monday, that's when that front's going to come in, and we'll see a pretty decent chance of showers. And again, some of that moisture could linger, and we could see a few isolated showers into Tuesday and Wednesday also. As far as the temperatures, cooler in the north, 62 in Amarillo.
We've had just a surge of people in our shelter, and we can house up to 65
so here's those thunderstorms.
But over the weekend, we went up to 83.
Of Florida.
Yeah, the nonprofit usually sees a rise in numbers out there at shelter during the summer months. However, usually not this early in the season.
In the northern
Anyone
Rockies.
wishing to make a
Temperatures
donation
right
can
now
call the
in Boise,
Purple Door
42,
Administration Office
47 in
to discuss a drop-off time
Salt Lake.
and
So that's why we will see
right
a
there.
little
We're
bit
coming.
of a cool down as
We
that
start
cold
tonight
air
with 3
passes
scam
to our north. Today, though, sunny, hot, at least 99 degrees, which will be a new record for today. Just have to get up to 97 to tie that record. Then for tonight, mostly clear and mild, overnight low of 78 degrees. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by NC Co-op Energy. Going to continue with the very warm weather through tomorrow. Then that front comes in Monday afternoon. Could see some scattered isolated showers with it. Still 95. Tuesday and Wednesday, that's why then we'll be back down into the lower 90s. Then we'll just get hot and dry again as we get closer to next weekend. Well, it's birthday time, and if you know someone who has a birthday coming up, be sure to let us know about it. Go to KRISTV.com where you'll find information on how to send us a picture. Here are today's birthdays. Join me in wishing them a big.
The number that came out on the caller ID was 8361-776-25. The one number, which unfortunately is all PD line.
Still, the woman who took the call wasn't buying it. A man who claimed to be an officer was demanding money or he'd arrest him.
And tonight we're giving a thumbs up to Master Sergeant Benjamin Jenkins. He recently retired last week from the U.S. Air Force after 22 years.
The scammer didn't win this time, and police want to keep it that way. That's why the departments in Ingleside and Corpus Christi post online warnings about phone scams.
It's important that these folks, the citizens, are most vigilant.
The same goes for parishioners at Holy Family Catholic Church in Corpus Christi. Recently, a scammer posed as the church's leader, Father Daryl D'Souza, sending church members emails and text messages asking for iTunes gift cards and other donations.
Report.
It's unclear whether anyone fell for it, but you can see how they could. Think you're dealing with an authority figure.
Tuesday. For now, they're trying to take care of business in Game 2 against the Amarillo Sod Pools. Absolutely beautiful night over at Whataburger Field. Packed crowd. You don't see it there.
Also reached out to the Catholic Diocese of Corpus Christi about the priest impersonator scam. They turned out an on-camera interview, but they told me this actually happens at lots of churches, not just here, but across the state
on the slider. On the other side, Ronald Bolanos making his AA debut makes Abraham Toro look silly. Fast forward now, second inning. Seth Beer, he is on fire. Oppo shot over the left field wall. His third home run is a hook.
Because it's fun.
All season.
3 times a week, Marty Knowles and his wife travel from Kingsville to Whitecap Beach with their miniature horses, offering free rides to children.
In the top of the third inning, Ivan Castillo with runners on first and third is going to deliver a shot over Brandon Getzman's head, and that's going to get all the way to the wall.
Says he began having issues.
Dr. Pepper sign, that'll score 2, and that just starts an outpouring of runs. Hooks fall on this one. Final score,
Knowles says after speaking with city officials, he was told he would either have to stop offering children free rides on his horses or register as a vendor and pay vendor and permit fees. He says the issues began because he occasionally takes donations from families if they offer them. The rides are free.
Good evening, everyone. And tonight there is still no justice for the family of 13-year-old Alex Torres. He was the boy gunned down at his home in January of 2015 in a case of mistaken identity.
And today, the charges against the woman who confessed to driving the getaway car were dismissed.
The last time we spoke to the city, they told us Knowles would need to register as a vendor because money was exchanging hands. Then they told us the horse rides were a liability. 5 weeks later,
Midwest County District Attorney's Office confirmed to us that the charges against Trevino were dropped, but did not tell us exactly why that happened. In the end, it means for now that no one has been brought to justice for this tragic crime.
Today was supposed to be the day Christina Trevino found out her punishment for her role in the shooting death of Alex Torres. Initially, she was charged with capital murder, but pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of retaliation. That was part of the deal with prosecutors who were trying to convict David Davila, the alleged shooter, of capital murder, but their efforts were unsuccessful. The first mistrial declared in October of last year after the jury could not agree on a verdict. Davila's second trial came just a few months later, but after Trevino, a witness for the prosecution, reportedly gave testimony that was not admissible, another mistrial was declared. The next day, Alex Torres' grandparents spoke to us about how they were still committed to seeking justice and some type of closure.
Put them on the barge and then try to move the barge.
I know they got Woodville first.
Scary moments for two pilots when their jet's landing gear failed. Happened this afternoon. The pilot was performing touch-and-go landings in a T-44 Pegasus
late last
at
month,
Davila's
Davila's third
Field. We're
trial
told the
ended
landing
in
gear
yet
failed,
another
but the pilot
mistrial,
was
and
able to land
prosecutors
safely.
announced they would not try
Navy
him
officials
again.
say there was
Now, with the
minimal
charges
damage to
dropped
the
against
plane, and the two
Trevino,
students
it's
and
unclear what the
instructor
next step
on
will be
board
to find
were
and
not
convict whoever is responsible for Alex's death.
Well, there are all sorts of scams.
Now, we did attempt to speak to Alex Torres' grandparents, Yolanda Quitos and Donaldo Gutierrez. They have been very gracious to us in the past, but we're not available today. Lee?
The scammers pretending
Christina Trevino has already been released from a Nueces County jail tonight. Davila released a couple of weeks ago, shortly after his third mistrial.
Not to fail for the scam.
Now, the most accurate weather forecast in South Texas with meteorologist Juan Acuna.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back, and a good Friday evening to you. Our Chief Meteorologist, Del Nelson, will be returning next week, and we're starting off right now looking at our one shoreline camera, looking over at Whataburger Field, and looking for some fireworks off and about in the area, but still a beautiful shot of Whataburger Field just off the Harbor Bridge right there. It was a tranquil night across the coastal bend after receiving yet another record high today, 102 degrees officially out at the airport, and this is the third record high in a row, and this completely shattered the previous record of 97 set back in 2001 and 1977. And if you were like me thinking, when was the last time we got to 102 degrees? Well, I called the National Weather Service, and they told me that it was July 23rd of 2018, so almost a year ago, and we got to 102 degrees that day as well. So, of course, as we go on into the weekend, we're still going to be looking at dangerous temperatures for us here. I wouldn't doubt if we get more heat advisories and even the possibility of excessive heat warning. So definitely take precautions, slow down, dress for summer, and drink plenty of water, and don't forget your outdoor pets as well. Make sure they have some cool water and some shade too. Looping radar, of course, has been quiet tonight. There was a lonely little thunder shower out in the Rio Grande Valley earlier this afternoon, but that has since dissipated at this point. And outdoors right now, as we look at our CCRV6 weather boat down into I-37 and Suntide, it's still 83 out there with the heat index of 95 and the humidity at 91% with the southerly wind at 6 miles an hour. So if you have any overnight plans for tonight, we'll be looking at mainly clear skies, and the temperatures by 3 to 4 o'clock only into the lower 80s, on our way to the middle 70s, 82 up in Rockport, 81 in Port Aransas, and 75 from Beeville, George West, Three Rivers, down into Mathis and Lake Corpus Christi, to Dallas as well. There are some of those high clouds that are moving in. Again, that's from those leftover one little thunder showers that was off of the just north of Raymondville, but this frontal boundary up to the north has gone stationary. It's going to be waiting for some high pressure to push it through, and it's going to be coming from this particular storm system off into the Pacific Northwest, and that is a cold front, and it is going to make it all the way to South Texas, but by the time it makes its way here, it is going to be extremely, extremely weak, and all it's going to do is basically give us a north-northeasterly wind and slightly drier air. Don't think about anything about cooler temperatures. It'll take temperatures down maybe about 3 to 4 degrees, but still it's going to be above normal, and it's still going to be hot as far as humidity is concerned. It won't feel quite as humid outdoors. Into the upper levels of the atmosphere we go. This is what's going to be dominating our forecast as we go into the weekend. And anytime we have upper level high pressure in place, we have subsidence going on, sinking air. That puts compressional heating on the surface. And that's why hot temperatures, especially for this time of year, are going to be expected and are in the forecast. Again, we're at 83 here, but notice behind that frontal boundary, they're into the 50s. We're not going to be headed there, unfortunately. The 50s are done with, at least until November, maybe even December by that time. But upper levels, here we go. There comes that high pressure dome. This is Saturday afternoon, sitting right on top of us, mainly over West Texas. It comes a little bit closer as we go on into Sunday, but again, right when we are underneath this, and especially into the afternoon with the peak heating of the day, it is really going to be a scorch out there. And again, use caution and drink plenty of water, especially if you're going to be outdoors for prolonged periods of time. 78 in the morning, warm and humid, heating up already by noontime. East-southeasterly winds at 9 miles an hour, 99 by 5 o'clock, with heat indices around 109 to 117. Inland areas and most inland areas of the coastal bend will be about 100 to 105. If you are going to be heading out to the Padre and Mustang Island, enjoy the beach. Don't forget the sunscreen. The wind southeasterly 7 to 14, the bay smooth, and the rip current risk is going to be low, but not gone, so still use caution. NEC Co-op Energy 7-day forecast, 99 tomorrow. 100 on Sunday against Shrimpery out in Aransas Pass this weekend. Then there comes that front Monday, and that'll give us a few isolated showers, some more clouds as well. But notice this temperature, we should be at 90 for this time of year, into the low to middle 90s. So still hot, but
what
not
it
quite
feels
as
like
humid. But
is
use
at
caution
101 degrees at Ingleside Naval Air Station, at 105 as well as Alice. So that heat index just over 100 today will be pretty close there again tomorrow.
All senior centers and all libraries are open to everybody, and they're available during normal business hours. Yesterday, the county opened cooling centers at area community centers and libraries as well. And today, we actually found folks in Agua Dulce, a few Agua Dulce residents who are taking advantage of the AC tonight.
There is a chance we'll have a shower or a thunderstorm.
And Reliant Energy also teaming up with the city to help folks stay cool. It announced the opening of its annual Beat the Heat Centers today, and this is the 10th year now that the county has sponsored them. Reliant also provides utility bill assistance through its program. Beat the Heat Centers are again located at the Greenwood, Lindale, and Oakville Williams Senior Centers.
Inland areas, but toward the evening and tomorrow night, those are going to increase and become numerous by Wednesday morning. Some of those with heavy rain. So tomorrow they'll be very hit and miss, but they'll be out there, and temperatures are going to heat up again. In fact, by noon we're at 89 degrees. Those winds staying under 20 miles an hour.
And again, for a full list of city and county cooling centers and tips on how to handle the heat, all you have to do is go to our website.
Of a shower or a thunderstorm as temperatures climb tomorrow, anywhere from 90 at the Naval Air Station,
did some damage in the area, and namely to the football field over at the university, destroying one of the press boxes. Now,
I have a few things to mention about the beach forecast. First of all, it is going to be a very warm day at the beaches tomorrow. The water's up to 86, but I wanted you to notice we have a high rip current risk the next couple of days. The onshore flow is increasing, and there could be some coastal flooding. We'll watch for that during high tides tomorrow morning south of Port Aransas. So watching also for the potential of a shower or a thunderstorm, especially Wednesday at the beaches as well.
Welcome back, everyone. The Hook's got a much needed
Today we did have a couple of little showers move through. You can see on the last 6 hours
things are getting close in the Texas League South
showers did move through the area. And now that's going to be the case again late tonight and tomorrow morning as this tropical wave lifts northward. This moisture is going to move in. You can see it on future track here. Let me take you hour by hour. This is starting tomorrow morning. Here come those showers I talked about. But later tomorrow and into Wednesday, you can see how they increase through Wednesday morning. Some of these, again, they're very tropical in nature. They'll have heavy rain with them and persist on and off through Thursday morning. Once that wave pulls out of here Thursday afternoon, we're going to start drying out and heating up. So as far as rainfall amounts from this, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches. Locally, some higher amounts, though, possible where those heavy pockets land.
But overall, 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible. That's in the next 3 days. Higher amounts up the coastline. And then once that moves out, as I mentioned, by Thursday afternoon, we start drying out. But look at this. We're talking dangerous heat and humidity. This is the heat index forecast as it later
We've heard the saying, keep your eyes on the road, and that's good advice for safe driving.
Here is our 7-day forecast then, and you can see we've got that rain on and off. The most likely day we'll see the rain is Wednesday, some of that heavy, and then that'll bring temperatures down a little for Wednesday. It doesn't last long. Here comes the heat, here comes the humidity all the way through the weekend, as we'll have plenty of sunshine for later this week.
These devices can detect cars.
And take a look at this. Police say the woman driving this car may have been speeding when she crashed into the Pizza Hut near Staples in Baldwin. This happened around 1 o'clock this morning. Police say the woman tried to make a turn and lost control. The car went through a barrier and smashed right in.
Staff say
thank you. The man who caused several crashes on the Harbor Bridge was drunk, according to police.
Intersections.
PD said the 25-year-old Ladarius White was driving the wrong way on the Harbor Bridge just before 10 o'clock last night.
All the way to the island to
and at times,
all 5 people were taken to the hospital. All of them had
City Traffic Control says sometimes they have to come out here on site and manage these cameras. But in doing so, they'll come to these metal crates here and they'll find out what the problem is. Usually it's due to a shortage, but they do say sometimes ants will crawl in here and mess with the wiring. Traffic management also says when monitoring traffic, if need be, they can make adjustments.
It helps with safe driving in the aspect that when we're monitoring the cameras and we're seeing the intersections, if we see a pattern where there's something going wrong, there's more left turns in a certain intersection, and maybe we need to make dual left turns instead of just a single left turn. We can monitor that.
Course was 18 holes. All of them.
The city also says not all roads are managed by these cameras. For example, on major highways and frontage roads, those cameras are monitored by
twice the fun or more.
This is Chris 6 News at 6.
With a name like Mitch Driver, where else would you start your bachelor party
today
weekend?
cleaning up the mess from last night's bad weather.
Whether his game is good or not, he's enjoying his time on a course that's been around for a decade.
Overnight, and residents, they woke up this morning to streets just littered with down power lines and tree branches. Ali Cassetti joins us live from Kingsville now with the very latest. Ali,
immaculate shape.
It didn't get that way overnight.
Well, Katya, this morning, Kingsville residents they began what could be a pretty lengthy recovery process. In fact, the city's mayor just recently signed a disaster declaration, and some of the residents that I got to speak with today told me that they could never see something like this
But the daunting task of restoration isn't the only reason Pompeii cut itself in half.
Most people that come down Port Aransas are tourists, and they just don't have 5 hours
7:30 last night, the town of Kingsville was struck by severe winds, leaving residents to find their property and belongings heavily damaged.
We
have seen several
being
buildings
able to reopen is a hole-in-one in itself.
And of course,
I'm really
in my
proud of our
personal
team out here.
situation,
They've gone through a tremendous amount of work to get the golf course to where it is now.
Due to these outages, some intersections are without traffic lights, which has already led to delays and some minor accidents.
We all enjoy
also seeing a need for a major cleanup is Catalina Stadium.
Once you see a structure laying on its side like that, it's a little bit shocks you for a minute, and you start into the assessment stage. So, okay, what are we going to do? One, to get that cleaned up.
Despite the hot conditions and the long road ahead of them, residents are staying determined and keeping their spirits high.
Yeah, some hard work. So
get your clubs carried for you, but instead of sitting in a car seat, you ride a board like a surfboard. You can lean.
While we've been out here in Kingsville today, I've been approached and seen many families still driving around in their cars, attempting to stay cool since their power is still out back at home. Back to you, Katya.
all right, Ali, thanks. And at this time, Clayburgh County has opened community centers for the elderly. If those centers become full, the county is going to open the FEMA Dome at the Pan American School.
In the
meantime, a lot of folks there in Kingsville still without power this evening. Some 9,600 AEP customers lost power around 7 o'clock last night. That includes the hospital there, the Naval Air Station, and the water treatment plant. Last report, about 5,200 customers still without electricity. AEP expects to have 95% of those folks back online by Saturday night around 8 p.m.
Ridgeway Lane
today.
B County deputies believe the man was from Honduras and was the victim of human smuggling and human trafficking. Investigators believe that the victim died during transport and was left by those traveling with him. His cause of death is still unknown. Investigators are also working with the Honduran consulate to locate and notify the family of the victim.
The cooling centers at area
A man hit by a car is recovering in the hospital this evening.
Today, we found a few Agua
crossing
Dulce
Morgan near
residents
Baldwin, but
taking
he was
advantage of
not
the AC
using the
at the county's
crosswalk.
David
The driver who
Betlanga
hit him
Community
stopped and
Center.
tried to help the man. Police say the driver will not be
for
charged.
seniors to be able to stay cool so that they're
Kingsville
not
man headed to
experiencing
prison for
heat-related
aggravated sexual
illnesses or
assault of a
effects of the
child.
heat. And so we,
As part of a
again,
plea
we
deal,
really want to
Rude
make sure our
was sentenced
seniors
to
have a safe place to
25
come and a
years in
place to
exchange
cool
for
off
pleading guilty to
every day
indecency with
that
a
the centers are
child,
open.
aggravated sexual assault, indecency by exposure, and
Stay
indecency
cool
by
and staying
contact. He was
hydrated, and
arrested
we want to make sure.
after a mom
And for a
gave
full list of the
police
city
cell
and
phone
county
video
cooling
of
centers
his
and
son having
tips on
sex
how to
with a
handle the
12-year-old
heat,
son.
visit our website at christv.com.
A barge and sunken tugboat remain.
Welcome back, everyone. And now to the latest on the barge and sunken tugboat that we first told you about last week.
It seems like some of the work is being done to move those vessels, and it's underway now. Workers with David Croft, responsible for leaving the barge and tugboat behind, we're out today getting the vessels ready for transport.
As of now, we don't know how long
Currently, 3 vessels remain docked at the shore behind the
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Dr. Ted weather forecast.
And then a second
With the beginning of June tomorrow is the beginning of hurricane season in the Atlantic, and June typically is a pretty quiet month for hurricanes or tropical storms, but they do develop sometimes, and when they do, the typical breeding grounds are the Gulf, and when they do develop in the Gulf, they tend to move either up to the north or into the Corpus Christi area. We also see, in the Western Caribbean, we see those typically in
2
June
weeks after
developing and
opening
moving
for the
into
summer, the
Yucatan
Greenwood
and
City
then
Pool is
potentially the Gulf,
temporarily
and then
shut
also
down
off the
today
coast
because of vandalism.
Of Florida, we tend to
Workers
see
say
them
that they found
develop
broken
here
glass
and
in
then
the
pulling
pool
off
this
the
morning during a
coastline there,
routine
moving
pool
out to
inspection.
sea. So
Staff
the
at
good
the
news
Corpus
is
Christi
that we
Parks and
start the
Rec are
season
currently
usually
cleaning up
very
the mess,
slowly.
making
In
sure the
fact,
pool
if
is
you look
safe
since
for swimmers. No
1851,
timeline has been given on when the pool will
named storms have occurred in the months of June and July combined. We tend to see that number go up, though, as we head into late summer and early fall.
We do have a
but have no
tropical
fear for now.
disturbance.
Swimmers can use other pools
right now.
It's something we're watching. The nearest pool
not
to Greenwood
expected to
is
do
the
much
HEB
development
pool
over the weekend as it'll be moving over the land. But once it gets into the Bay of Campeche, we are looking at the potential of some development next week. So this is one we'll watch right now in the next 48 hours.
Wilcox Furniture. Great furniture delivered fast and guaranteed low prices.
What is the
now, the most accurate forecast in South Texas with meteorologist Juan Acuna.
Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the Wilcox Furniture Forecast and a very good Friday afternoon to you. It's been pretty quiet across the coastal bend today, especially compared to yesterday. But the looping radar is not completely clear. We do have one thunder shower just out of our viewing area down near the Rio Grande Valley. And there is a severe thunderstorm warning for it just to the southwestern half of Kennedy County. That includes Willacy County, Hidalgo County, and pushing off near the Raymondville area. That goes until 6 o'clock, so if you are going to be traveling down there, you may want to check the radar off and about. It has a little bit of hail associated with it as well. Back here at home, it was all about the heat today, and it's going to be all about the heat tomorrow on Sunday, and we'll get a little bit of relief as we go into early next week. But heat advisories in effect for the entire coastal bend, minus our northern counties, but don't fool yourselves because it's still hot up there as well. We're at 101 degrees right now. I'm not sure when the last time we reached 101 degrees. I'm going to have to go and research that, but nonetheless, it's hot. 105 up in Orange Grove, by Heavenville, you're included. Our water temperature out at the Packard Channel has warmed back up to 87, and it still feels like 113 here. 120 out at the Naval Air Station, Flower Bluff, 115 in Alice near San Diego, up around the Alfred region as well, and 110 on Falfurrias and Fremont as well. Evening forecast for tonight will maintain mainly clear skies, as it's still going to be fairly warm by the 10 o'clock time frame into the middle 80s as we struggle to get into the middle to upper 70s early in the morning. Upper 70s to lower 80s near the coastline, and about 75 to 76 for almost the rest of the coastal bend. Again, right now we have mainly clear skies, again, minus that one lonely little thunder shower off in the Rio Grande Valley as high pressure is taking over the region. We've got a little frontal boundary. This is going to be meandering back and forth over the next couple of days, and it's going to wait for high pressure up to the north to reinforce that, and that's what we're going to be looking for here, the high pressure behind this system.
As we look at temperatures all the way into next week, it doesn't change a lot, but they do go up a little.
Extremely weak in nature,
by Sunday and Monday we inch up a degree on high temperatures, lows in the upper 70s.
What it will do is bring some drier air into the coastal bend, but there's the upper levels of the atmosphere right now, and this high pressure dome is going to be moving right on top of us as we go into the weekend forecast. And of course, every time we have high pressure sitting on top of us, that means we have sinking air, we have subsidence going on in the atmosphere, so that puts pressure for us here on the surface, and that's why we get those hot temperatures to go with it. And you can see us here, 101, again, one of the hottest temperatures across the entire United States, but it's warm all the way up into the northern plains, right behind that one frontal boundary. That won't cool us down a whole lot. They're getting a little bit of some cooler air up in the Pacific Northwest, where temperatures are currently into the 50s. But let's look at it as far as the surface temperatures are concerned. This is tomorrow afternoon. Look at all those bright pink colors once again. That means hot temperatures, and the high pressure will come a little bit farther into our area on Sunday. So I think we'll achieve triple digits once again, and each day we're going to be challenging the record highs. And then watch what happens as we go on into Monday. That little storm system off to the southeast is going to dig just a little bit, and there's a reinforcing one that's going to come right behind it. So it's going to push the main energy of that hot air back off to the west just a little bit. It's still going to be hot here, no doubt about it, but it's not going to feel quite as hot because of the drier air coming in, and there comes that reinforcing low pressure as we go on into early next week. But for tomorrow, 93 already heating up at noon, 99 by 5 o'clock, heat indices around 109 to 117, 99 here, ranging to 100 to 106 for our inland communities. If you are going to be heading out to Padre and Mustang Island, don't forget that sunscreen. The bays will be smooth. The rip current risk is going to be low out there in the seas, about 2 to 4 feet. Our NEC Co-op Energy 7-day forecast, 99 tomorrow, 100 on Sunday. Don't forget Aransas Pass Shrimpery. It's over the weekend. Heat advisories are going to be likely. A couple of isolated showers with that weak frontal boundary that will come in Monday, Tuesday, and end on a Wednesday. It's still going to be warm.
But she wants to wait for Ethan to make a full recovery before jumping into any more major surgery. In the meantime, Ethan says he's grateful for all the support he received from both the community and his family.
And now to the latest twist in the Alex Torres case.
Now, Torres was a 13-year-old who was gunned down at the Treyway Apartments 40 years ago in a case of mistaken identity. The name suspect in the case, David Godwin, with 3 trials.
This was a scene over at the American Bank Center as Miller High School held their commencement ceremony. This is actually the first of 8 graduations taking place at the American Bank Center over the next couple of days.
The other person accused in that murder has had the charges dismissed against her. Chris 6 News reporter Nikita Pradier is following the late-breaking story and is in the newsroom with the very latest
And here's
details.
some more good news. Starting tomorrow, Schlitterbahn Corpus Christi will be open 7 days
confirmed to us that charges against Christina Trevino were dismissed today by visiting Judge Rose Arena. Now, you may remember that initially Trevino was charged with capital murder in this case. She was the accused getaway driver the night that Vanessa was shot, according to prosecutors. However, in a plea deal, she did plead guilty to a lesser charge of retaliation last August. Now, Trevino was set to be sentenced this morning, but that hearing was abruptly canceled late yesterday afternoon before today's dismissal. And by the way, we have no word right now on exactly why that happened today. As for Trevino, jail officials now tell us that they are in the working to process her rather, and that she could be released from jail as soon as within the next few hours. Paulo?
And here's some more good news. Starting tomorrow,
Trevino was facing
a barge and a now sunken tugboat that were supposed to be used for a fireworks display are now
national has been arrested in connection with Tuesday night's deadly car crash.
The barge was donated to a local charity for a fireworks display
U.S. Marshals in Houston arrested Ivan Puga Moreno of Nuevo León. According to a court document,
the General Land Office plans to remove the gasoline and the batteries from the sunken tugboat.
When he was involved in that
the
crash,
woman who lives within eyeshot of the sunken barge wants to know if it could cause
Puga Moreno could face the death penalty if he's convicted.
I don't know whether there's gas in the tugboat or whether it is escape.
And if you want to read the complete
I don't even
court
know what the
documents, we have
contents
them
of the
for you
barge
on our
are.
website at christv.com.
The GLO has tracked down the man who left the barge.
Oasis County District Attorney Mark Gonzalez has recused himself from a murder case. Gonzalez filed a motion to recuse himself and the DA's office from the case against Emmanuel Eric Cantu. He's accused of shooting 3 people outside of the CK Mart convenience store on Port Avenue in Baldwin.
And I'm Sonia Hill.
One of those victims, 36-year-old Sandalio Zuniga, died from his injuries. Cantu is a member of the Calaveras Motorcycle Club, and according to court documents, so is the district attorney. Mark Gonzalez stated that due to his membership in the motorcycle club, he has removed himself from the case.
So you want to get that application.
Coming up tonight on Dateline, a report on the case of Christine Chapa and Molly O'Gean. They are the 2 young women shot in Portland back in 2012.
Out of the program.
It's a preview.
It took half a year for the Texas
Tonight on
General Land
Dateline, a
Office
new
to
look at a
provide
story we did a couple of years ago. 2 young women shot and left for dead. We originally called this story Texas Twist, but it turns out there's one more twist we didn't know was coming. Is the right person in prison for this?
Had when
That's
they
on
applied for
Dateline
the
tonight.
Homeowners Assistance Program, or
That
HAP,
Dateline
in
report
November.
will air
At that
tonight
point, they've been
at
living
9
for 15
on
months in
Chris
a
6.
waterlogged house. Thanks to
You've
Hurricane
perhaps heard
Harvey.
the saying that you need to keep your eyes on the road. Probably pretty good advice for safe driving. The city, though, is taking it one step further by keeping their eyes on the drivers.
It's
reporter Jeremiah
Absolutely.
Their jackpot,
The city's
demolition
traffic
of their
management
old
team
home,
has
which happened
different TV
Monday, and
monitors,
construction
cameras,
of a
and
new
other
one that'll
equipment in
start
place
soon.
to see different
But
traffic
soon
patterns.
isn't a word on the
But how does
minds
it
of
work?
hundreds of people still
I'm in the
waiting to
nerve
hear
of the
if
center
they
of the
too
city's
will
traffic
get HAP
management
funding.
department.
It is a
Today I'm meeting with
process.
city
The Texas
workers to
General
keep
Land
a
Office
close eye
wants you
on
to know
all this
that you
information
can be like the
and find out
McLinkas
what they're looking
as they try
for.
to get their
Also
antique
find
store
out
up
what
and
the
running
payoff
again while
is
their
for
home is
drivers on the
rebuilt.
road and
You're encouraged to visit the
taxpayers. Here's the full
GLO,
story
their
tonight
offices in
on Chris
Corpus
6
Christi
News.
and Rockport to find out what could be possibly
Chris
holding
6
up your
News
money.
at
We want folks before they give up or think
Welcome
that they
back.
might
I'm
not
here
be
with Cheryl
eligible to come
Livingston and
talk to
David
us.
Mura, both
Because
with
we
the
have
Aransas
specialists
County
that are able
Historical
to work
Society.
through issues and
They're
help them
pretty
get to that
excited
yes.
about a
That's the
program
answer
that's
the
coming up.
McLinkas
It
got
is a
that they want
tribute
you to get
to
as
singer,
well.
songwriter, musician Guy
going.
Clark.
Keep the
Welcome to
faith.
both of you.
Thank you.
Guy Clark had some ties to this area, right?
Absolutely. He still has family, classmates, friends in Rockport, many fans all across the United States and Europe. And we're excited to host the show featuring Berlin Thompson and Sean Camp.
We'll talk about that in a second, but let me ask you more about Guy Clark, because as I understand it, and you know more about this than anybody I know, he actually grew up in this area, right? Or spent time in this area?
He's been diagnosed with autism. He grew up in Rockport, Fulton area, from kind of middle school age through high school graduation.
He's been in therapy since he was 2 years
So
old,
those are very
and while he
formative years
responds
for
well,
him, and
he
he
excels the
often
most
spoke
when his
about how
therapy
they shaped
involves
him
animals.
as a musician and just his life experiences.
experiences in Rockport.
And he did a lot of songwriting here. In fact, weren't there some albums, or at least one I know, that had Rockport on the cover, right?
Yeah, his
That's
first
why now she's applying to get Dylan a service dog to help with his autism and behavior in general.
Has a picture of the harbor on it with him. And then Bolts to Build is another song that's really identified with the Rockport area.
In fact, we've got some pictures. I want to see if our director can pull up there. While we're doing that, let's talk about the show, because there's of the pictures we're looking at here. Guy Clark there in the middle. The two guys on the right side of the screen there.
Will pay $43,000.
Verlin Thompson and Sean Camp, both Nashville performing artists, and both wrote songs, produced records, and performed with Guy.
And let me ask you, on the left, I see Guy Clark apparently knew those guys.
He did indeed. In fact, Verlin Thompson played with him for years and years. Sean Camp is younger, but he is a great fan of Guy Clark himself, and recorded and produced Guy Clark's album.
Now, I know you had put together a show, and it sold out within like 5 days.
So that prompted you to bring a
second show. This is the one we're talking about. Tell me about this.
All right. Yes, we had scheduled one show for August 1st, started selling tickets in March, sold out in 5 days, and so we thought, well, maybe we'd better do another.
All right,
and
so
we put those tickets on sale last week, and they're going quite fast. It's August the 2nd.
Now,
7 p.m.
Action 10 Chief Meteorologist Sharon Ray with your Doppler 10 weather forecast.
And those guys are going to sing and reminisce, and it'll be a really fun evening.
You know, it's going to be really special because they're in Guy Clark's hometown with people who knew Guy Clark
Several homes
well,
were damaged with dozens of
it's just going to be extra special. They've done this show several times, sellout.
Fortunately, there have been no injuries. That's always good news, but there has been some damage with those. Back at home this morning, we had those clouds in here at the ocean and in some of our inland areas, and that didn't give us much of a sunrise to see this morning at Rockport, but overall, those clouds cleared out and we ended up with sunshine this afternoon. The wind not as strong today, but the humidity was still high, and we certainly had a very warm, sticky day. But the sunshine was nice,
everybody. Certainly last night was a busy, interesting evening. Short bursts, thunderstorms, and all kinds of problems. But once it all began to decrease after the sundown, the sun went down. We got some pretty nice clouds out there, and thanks to Jack Neal for sending that in on Twitter. If you've got great pictures from the storm, we'd love to share it with everybody. It's 89 degrees already, and it feels like 104.
At about 198,
that's what we're going to be dealing with for the next few days. In fact, this temperature should go up even higher now that we're getting the direct sunlight and fewer and fewer clouds. Winds are fairly light right about now, but all of South Texas, most of Texas will be 80s and 90s, but the desert Southwest, we're looking at very, very hot weather right on through the coming weekend, and for us, 98, 99, that's pretty hot stuff. You can see how all the rain has finally ended over the state. It's all gone. The storm center that produced all that is gone as well. Here's the line of damage that we had with one particular storm. Started out in Beeville, went right through Pettis, all the way down into Aransas County, and then fell apart just before Rockport, and of course the one that sort of came around Alice went down to Kingsville and then went out at Baffin Bay. We did get wind gusts in the 50, 60 mile an hour range during all that wild weather that we had, but it was only, what, an hour maybe? Half an hour to an hour, and it all blew away. So for us now, we are dealing with hot weather. All of us in South Texas are under a heat advisory, and that means that every day in the afternoon, the combination of heat and humidity is going to affect you like it's much higher than that. So we want you to just take it easy and don't overexert. I mean, yes, you can cross the street, you can go to the grocery store, no problem there. But if you are working with a jackhammer or if you're out there in the field working heavy industry, just know that you got to get fluids, otherwise you'll get dehydrated. This is the high pressure that's building over us now. This is the low pressure that's pulling all that storminess away. We have a front up here, but it's not really going to get a chance to get through this. The entire nation is really dealing with the remnants of that low that pulls away. Now, as it pulls away, this is the high pressure I'm telling you about. It's going to develop over our area and all the way over the desert Southwest. Very unusual, very early. It's not even officially summer till July the 20th, or June the 21st, but it is certainly going to feel like it with blazing temperatures. We're looking at 97 for 3 days in the city. That'll put all of the western areas on the other side of 281 at least 100. So
up, it
we're looking at 100-degree temperatures and heat index really hovering around 110 to 115, and that's the point where we want people to just take it easy, get plenty of fluids, and don't overexert yourself in the middle part of the day. If you got to do it early or late,
showing up on the forecast.
That's your 7-day forecast brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. Mike, we'll toss it back to you.
All right, thank you, Mac. We'll check in with him again coming up in just a bit.
To be fairly dry out there.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here. Last night's storms left a trail of destruction across
then. You can see those temperatures really don't change much, but they do come up.
Over much
in fact,
of the city.
They slowly rise as we get into Sunday and Monday. The hottest day looks like Monday, possibly 94 degrees, night 78 to 80. We still have a stray shower chance through Sunday.
Massive cleanup job on their hands. I'm here on 15th Street right now, and right behind me you can take a look at some of the damage that's been done. There's a utility pole snapped in half.
And on a related note, graduation ceremonies will take place at the American Bank Center this week.
The first ceremony will be Miller High School tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Texas, but at last report, nearly 7,000 people will hold their commencement ceremonies on Friday. And on Saturday, the American Bank Center will host graduation ceremonies for Veterans Memorial, Carroll, and King High Schools. And West Oso will hold its commencement ceremony at the Selena Auditorium at 7 p.m.
You know, a lot of hail came down.
Summer vacation doesn't mean students can't still receive free meals.
A man is facing dozens of criminal charges for severe animal abuse. Aransas Pass police seized more than 40 dogs today from the home of Richard Gonzalez. Officers say the animals were living in deplorable conditions. Some were in undersized kennels and only had access to moldy food and water that was too contaminated to drink.
And on top of that, all the construction and
outside.
Cleanup that's underway is in some really hot conditions.
Were far worse.
All right, Allie, thank you for that report live from
inside. Fecal soiled flooring and stuff like that. It's just really bad shape. And we found at least one dog on top of the 42 that was, I believe, inside the house. He's covered in mange, has open sores.
Chief Blanchard says a vet will see the dogs tomorrow to begin medical treatment. A court will eventually decide if they are awarded to the city. Meanwhile, Richard Gonzalez is charged with 43 counts of cruelty to animals.
But first tonight, with affordable housing still scarce because of Hurricane Harvey, more people can now at least afford to work in one community. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Drew Spire.
And I'm Sonia Hill. And it's all thanks to a new bus route. Port Aransas business owners are very excited about the just
got final. Well, elsewhere in the news tonight, thousands of rape kits across Texas remain untested. Some of them have been sitting on the shelves for years now.
But thanks to a new law, that backlog could soon be cleared and bring justice to more victims.
No, the Express was due in at 8:15. She's long gone for the night, but come 6:30 tomorrow morning, she'll be there in Bay
state lawmakers have
on the other side of that red
Just
arch
2
there
years
that
ago,
bus is
several
stationed
rape
right
reform
now.
bills
Now,
were
it's actually
passed
been
and signed
running
into
since
law.
Friday,
Local leaders
but
say
only
this
last
measure
night
has
did
a
the
major
Ingleside City
difference,
Council get
tens
the
of millions
go-ahead
of
for the
dollars in
Express to
funding.
come through that
Just
city.
this week,
In
Governor
so
Greg
doing,
Abbott signing
making it
House
fully
Bill 8.
operational.
I'm a transit enthusiast. I ride these buses.
And taking Texas's commitment to ending the backlog of rape kits one step further. During the 2017 legislative session, there was a bill that required law enforcement agencies to submit their untested kits to DPS for analysis.
That the city's going to be able to use them more. Just more people that know about it. I hope it picks up.
RTA leaders think it will, according to their research.
Of those kits have been analyzed by DPS.
This most recent measure will require those agencies to do an audit of all remaining untested rape kits and set timelines to make sure they're analyzed. Deputy Chief Breedlove says this could be helpful in tracking down offenders whose victims did not file charges. Previously, those kits were not sent out for testing.
This now allows a lot more data to put into the system, and that way we could
pick somebody up here, pick somebody up there, give them a ride to the ferry.
The state is also backing up this goal with $50 million in funding. That money will be used to hire more workers for the state's crime labs and ensure underserved populations have access to nurses who are trained to collect evidence for rape
that we
kits.
previously didn't have in our toolbox that we can use to help bring justice to the citizens via a conviction for someone who has victimized someone is a tool that we're going to welcome.
Matt Manning with the Nueces County District Attorney's Office says when it comes to rape and sexual assault cases, evidence from these kits is some of the most compelling they can present to a jury. So he's grateful for the new law that will allow law enforcement and DPS to analyze that evidence even quicker.
Now, that could get extended adjusted and the schedule expanded. The RTA says it's just all about how many people actually ride the bus. So far, the numbers are okay.
News.
Reporting live in Corpus Christi, Seth Kovar, Action 10 News.
At least 40 years or until the statute of limitations runs out, whichever is longer.
Dozens of kids from places like Germany, Thailand, and Mongolia.
Thanks, Roland. We talk about the music.
Next week, 2 of their kiddos get to leave and go back home.
They've got the outhouse races before the parade Saturday morning. They have the shrimp eating contest.
It enriches our communities
best-looking
because we're bringing these kids in from other countries that maybe
he's like
our
the
kids don't
10-time
ever
reigning
go.
champion.
I believe that.
Thank you. I haven't shaved today. Hey,
Susan Hicks is a host parent. She hosts foreign exchange students in her home every year.
That's right.
This unique couple from Cal Allen has been a host family for dozens of kids from places like Germany, Thailand, and Mongolia.
The good news is the storms are passing away. It's going to be hot and